Are you ready for my ad read?
Yes.
Okay. I put out for Santa. It's not going to lick itself. Falling. Bitch peas. These are just a few examples of the sayings you can find on the shirts at heshirtshirt.com. That is heshirtshirt.com. Your one-stop shop for all your t-shirt needs. You'll find a large array of shirt subjects ranging from food, mom life, workout, and gamer all the way to dad life, drink up, and Christmas. Do you have a particular phrase or saying that you're fond of repeating around friends and family? Not to worry, because you could request a custom order for a shirt. It could be anything from OMG, I love you to whoa, is this thing still on? Arrow pointing down. The possibilities are endless, so stop on in to heshirtshirt.com and buy or create the shirt you've always wanted. / just some guardians is the promo code. No,
JSG Cast.
JSG Cast is the promo code. It is something related to just some guardians.
Use promo code JSG Cast to receive 10% off your order.
That's the one.
He-shirt, heshirtshirt.com. So I'm actually wearing one of their shirts right now.
Are you? What's it say?
I am.
I'd rather be gaming. That is a true statement.
And it's a very comfortable shirt, might I add.
Nice. Is it?
I really like their shirts. Are awesome.
I think I'm gonna have to get one of their shirts now, and like get one, like a couple of them, so I can wear one every time since they're our sponsors now.
You should. That's how many episodes we're gonna do. That's how many shirts you're gonna buy.
Yeah, I'll do for those who watch Critical Role, I'll do like the Sam Riegel. I just take them off as we're going along.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
I'm wearing like 5 shirts.
Here I come. But yeah, I also have another one that says "Cook brisket, not meth." So good stuff over there. Yeah, that sounds great. It's a really nice thing to live by. Hello. Here we go. Intro music that'll be here soon. La 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 la. It is actually being worked on. All right, here we go.
We could just beatbox like we did last week.
I think that was good. Yeah, we'll just edit that here. Or a new one. Des, lay it down. Sick beat. Track, go.
Dang it, Russell stole what I was going to do.
Ah, dang it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 88 of Just Some Guardians. We are live here at twitch.tv/JustSomeGuardians Friday nights. We went live at 11:30 Eastern. We are now starting the show at almost midnight Eastern. That is how we do things here. Yes.
Seems par for the course.
Yeah. You've been here before. You know how this goes. I'm your host, folks. That's me. I'm Elmer Fudd Games.
You are?
I am. Me. This guy talking right now, this vocal cords belongs to Elmer Fudd Games.
Wow, those are some beautiful vocal cords.
Thanks, man. Thanks, dude.
I'd like to take them out of your throat and string them on a guitar. Play the beautiful sound of your soul dying.
That was the most metal thing I've ever heard, while also being possibly one of the most romantic things I've ever heard.
I know. I think I walked a very fine line there.
Yeah, like I am wooed, aroused, and putting you on FBI's watch list.
I'm already there. There was that one time I was thrown off of there.
That's true. That's true. That other voice, folks, you know him. All right, here we go. It's the effervescent Russell.
Oh,
Ching-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you're here again.
I looked forward to this for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, same. I was really bummed we couldn't last week, and which kind of worked out because my wife wanted to play video games, so she was happy that you couldn't make it.
See, so really, I was providing a service.
Yeah, you saved my marriage last week.
I'll expect a thank you card in the mail.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, I'm still waiting on my hot Cheetos.
All right, folks.
Hot fries.
Stopping. That's the end of our show. Everyone have a great night. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate all of you. You can find me Twitter and I actually thought of that today. I think I'm going to wait like 8 years and then just randomly send it to you.
But it'll just be like, what are these? And then it'll just be like, you've been served. I'm like, oh, okay.
I get it now. I get it now. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just send you an audio file of that entire episode. And then you'll have to listen to the whole thing to figure out what it means again.
Yeah. Well, because by then I will have definitely forgotten.
Yeah. The long con.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
I see what you're doing here.
So, right, like last episode, folks, which if you didn't listen, you should have. It's probably the best episode we've ever had in the history of Just Some Guardians. We're back, right? Hey, this is us. We're recording podcasts. And this is going to be our first time with a guest since we've returned to the atmosphere, the spherical form, shape of the podcasting world. He's been here before. We had a glorious episode where we talked about side-scrolling games. Folks, you know him from such places as your literal favorite YouTube channel. In the past, he's been a host of a very long-winded podcast whose name leaves my mind because I am on pain meds and didn't write it down.
Not to mention,
RNG Cast was the episode of the show that they did multiples of, he was a co-host of. And currently, if you tune into the Guardian Hub, you can find him over there. I remembered that one. Folks, it's DesRaving.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
Oh God, you're already killing me. Oh,
Yeah?
this is fantastic.
The night is young,
so yeah,
my friend.
I know, right? Oh, I can't wait. But yeah, as I was looking up, it's been almost 2 years to the day since I've guessed it here.
Wow, that was
Jeez, was it
really
really that
depressing
long?
to say out loud. I
it
mean,
make me feel old.
yeah.
for the record, though, once again, we didn't record for an entire year. So really, for recorded
I mean-
podcasts, it's only been a year.
Yeah, I mean,
Does that make it
yeah.
better?
Oh, it makes it a whole year better, which I think is a win.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you had a hiatus, which is cool. You know,
Mhm.
at least you didn't just up and vanish like some other podcast I was part of.
Yeah, let's start there. Let's deep dive there.
Oh God. Oh God.
How does that make you feel, DesRaving?
You want to get real?
Let's get real. That's all I want to talk
get real.
about. Let's
I'm ready
get to
for
the
that.
nitty gritty, right? Tell us about third grade.
Did your mommy love you enough?
Yes, for certain. I definitely don't
Oh,
have
good.
parenting issues. So
I could hear it in your voice.
More of an Oedipus.
I know,
yeah, yeah.
right? If I remember right, I think third grade is when I started needing glasses, either third or fourth. So,
Okay.
you know, been going pretty much steadily blind since then.
Yeah.
Um,
But really, you've seen better due to the glasses.
yeah.
You acquired the tools in order to allow you to see into the future. To put it more poetically.
What is our future hold?
You know,
We become-
honestly, I don't know.
Where does
Right.
our show end after this year? And then we take another year hiatus. It's an
I
on a
think,
year
I
off.
think that's what we're going to do. Yeah. 2021 is going to be a great year. 2022, folks, we won't record again. It's going to be terrible.
So I have a feeling it's going to be like Sherlock, right? Where it'll be like a hiatus
yeah.
for like 3 or 4 years, and then all of a sudden they're back, and you're like, "What? I didn't even know they were doing the show." And then you're all excited, and then you watch 3 episodes, and then they're on hiatus for another 10 years.
Exactly. See, that's
Right.
what we're going to do. That's our game plan here, right? We
I get it.
suck everyone in with the hype of us back. And once we
Right.
notice the numbers start to tippy fall a little bit, boom, we're on hiatus again.
I got it. I think that's a great marketing plan.
I agree. And just when it, like, we start to see people aren't talking about us as much, boom, wham,
become
we're back in the
solid.
game.
We always maintain the nostalgia factor because people are like, G-Cast, and then we can be like, bam, we're back.
Because what does JSG Cast represent from the beginning? Nostalgia
And chaos.
and utter incompetency
And penises.
and a lot and poop stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know what our core demographic is.
Anyway, enough with me and Russ. We're supposed to be talking to our guest right now. No, you're good. I just realized my camera got bumped by a wire. The other camera.
Oh God.
Anyway, DesRaving.
Yes.
So that other show abandoned you, right? And you're hurt. I get it. I understand. We'll never do that to you.
We still love you.
Yeah, we adore you. But you go ahead, please.
Oh no, like it's just an interesting roller coaster when all that happened. So yeah.
I hear you, buddy. I hear you. I was a DM away, my friend, and I always will be.
I know, and you were there, and I appreciate you.
Of course, man.
I'm a DM's DM away.
That's true. That's true. A Dungeon Master's direct message or a direct message to the Dungeon Master? Which way?
Either way works.
So would that be a dum-dum? A dum-dum? A dum-dum?
So...
Yeah, I am a dum-dum.
So... As predictably, Russell goes both ways. All right. So,
yes. That is true. But hey, dude. All right.
Don't tell my wife.
Before we get to those Guardian Hub guys, right? Wow. Woof. Rough. Dude, what else have you been up to? Like content creation and life? Like, what are you doing, man?
Well, I guess since... So yeah, where to start? Because I mean, good Lord, it's been...
Let's say the day your heart broke.
Well, let's see. Just a bit before that, I ended up moving to South Carolina.
Good place.
Nice. I like that.
Not really by choice.
Good duck hunting out there.
Kind of rough situation, and fresh start and everything.
Yeah.
So and does the soul pretty decently. Just get into an entirely new area and perspective on things, which for that it has actually helped pretty immensely.
Dude, that's awesome. That's really good.
So yeah. The only bad news was, I guess, getting situated and getting settled. I went without internet for like a year.
Oh, so you didn't even know we were gone. So this is a surprise to you.
Hey, look.
Well, I mean, when I got back, I noticed you weren't around, but
this is it's like he was in a time capsule, Russ.
Yeah, it was actually very interesting to just completely and utterly disconnect for like a while. I really think it kind of helped me recenter a bit.
No, absolutely, dude.
The length was a little more than I would have hoped for, but things are as they are.
Well, now we've popped your time capsule cherry.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was within that time that the unthinkable happened, and RNG just vanished. Still no.
Off the face of the earth.
Yeah, I mean, the pay for the feed stopped, and the feed just straight vanished.
Also, like straight up, there's just no.
Yeah, there's no feed anymore. Legitimately, the only thing we have left that even states we existed other than people's memories is what we did, or what we were able to upload on YouTube.
And so that's still there. I have a tattoo of your guys' logo on my lower back, so that's all. That'll always be there. Don't worry.
I have a Prince Albert with the logo on it.
Dude, by our tattoos combined.
We are something.
Not finishing that joke. Hey,
moving on.
No, but dude, just seriously though, that disconnect, honestly, I think 2020 would have been way better if I didn't have internet. But no,
hilariously, I was going to say hilariously, 2020 is when I came back.
Oh, rough. Never mind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because it was, I guess December 2019. it wasn't a full year, but yeah, it was about December-ish, 2019 though. So I've been back a year.
Okay.
Into
So
most
it wasn't a full year
things.
gone then.
Not a full year.
Cool.
I mean, it was like what?
You lied to me. That's awesome.
11 months. It was 11 months. I rounded up. Excuse me.
It's whatever. It's just this podcast is built on a foundation of trust and nurturing that trust. And you crumbled it.
I thought it was built on a foundation of lies.
Yeah. Damn it, Russell. So what I said was a lie. Therefore, I stayed true to the quota. All right, we're good.
Actually, yeah. No,
One of us
however
always
way you look at it.
Oh,
Which
man.
is which?
Okay, so that's depressing stuff, right? Frolic away.
Yeah.
Woo! That's the sound of frolicking, by the way. So, the Guardian Hub,
But
right?
Yeah. So I ended up, coming back, ended up reconnecting with people. Because I still play Destiny quite a bit, and dipping my toes back into that community is just like that old urge, just like really started bubbling again. It's like,
Well,
I want to voice. I know, right?
Yeah.
I
just want to fuck Destiny.
But no, so I mean, it just seemed like in my. I'm not saying there's a correlation, but just like since I had been gone, like things were just more and more overwhelmingly negative, and I hate that in the community. And I don't know. I just kind of wanted to be that kind of, voice of balance, essentially.
Yeah.
So hilariously, I just put. Yeah, so I just put out on like Twitter or something. It's like, hey, if anybody needs a co-host, I'm available. Just saying.
I remember that, and we weren't recording at the time, so I was like, "Well, that's one we're not catching. Throw the old rod away."
So yeah. What? 2 days later, I get a DM from Kingsley. It's like, hey, about that offer.
Oh, I love Kingsley.
So yeah,
I hate him, dude. I don't know. There's just something about him.
He's got to stick up his butt sometimes, but
No, like how
white collar guy. No, I'm kidding.
You know how sometimes like someone comes along and they just like they're passionate about things they're into, and like very helpful and always want to bring other people in and include them and just like do everything they can to make everyone else's lives better as a community in a whole. Like that just pisses me off.
Yeah, I mean, who does that?
Yeah.
Especially, look.
I'm looking.
That's it.
I'm still staring.
Just look.
You looked.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, we love all of them. Sin, I'm really glad that the podcast exists so you have an opportunity to play the game.
You have a reason.
Yep. I feel like that's the only time he's allowed to play is when you guys are recording.
Seems that way, right?
So let me ask, so you're playing typically, do people ever find you in the tower or find you out in the game and then kill you so that you will stop playing while you're doing the podcast?
Well, I don't play usually during podcasting.
Yeah, because you're a good, responsible adult. Yeah,
I'm a classy individual.
Class.
I'm a gentleman.
What are you guys trying to say?
Nothing at all, you piece of shit.
Hey, I will have you know that I am. I am. But I have corn.
That's true. That's all we need.
I am the great mighty Pooh.
That's all.
I'm gonna take out.
Oh my god. Who are we tonight? All right, I'm on pain meds. No. All right, we brought up Guardian Hub. We never actually talked about Guardian Hub. So what have you brought to I've listened to a few episodes, obviously. I spend a lot of time at work listening to podcasts. And really, I'm gonna let you talk in a second, but honestly, you bring a ton to that show, dude. You
I
are.
appreciate that.
You always
The
are
glue?
playing everything. You're the glue. No, he's not the glue. That's so boring.
No.
So he's the gorilla
It-
glue.
Is he the jizz?
He's yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, you're like the glizzy guzzler of Guardian Hub, right? Uh, but no, like you have you're always playing the game, right? So anything anyone's talking about, you have an opinion on, and you are very good at keeping conversation flowing. If everyone else is kind of staying in a certain spot and they're not sure how to bring it over, bam, you arch the conversation over. I think you are a great addition to that podcast. Now say nice things about me. Okay.
You're a wonderful human being and individual, and I always love talking to you. Which is why I'm kind of saddened whenever you didn't respond to my sins like call-outs that you should come onto our show.
Oh, I
and,
wasn't
like,
listening at the
guest, but,
time.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I never heard that.
I think there was about actually 2 weeks straight, and then we kept calling you out.
Yeah, I distinctly remember there was like 2 weeks I didn't listen, but I've definitely listened to every other episode.
Every other episode except for the 2.
Yeah. I distinctly remember
for those two.
Man, I missed those 2 shows. I probably didn't miss much and just kept going, you know?
Oh god. But then again, that's also like driven by my desire to talk to you more because
Brett is pretty great.
who can't get enough fun?
Yeah.
This is about.
I've known Fudd for 16 years at this point.
Oh boy, here we go. Longer. 18 years.
Is it really? No,
Yeah.
we're 14.
17. Whatever. I don't know. We met in 2004.
I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, so 16 years.
16 years.
18 years.
Going on 17.
I am 16 going on 17.
Which is almost good grief.
Yeah, that's a long time to know someone.
Yeah. And I can never get enough of you. Every time I see your smiling face or your little icon pop up, and I'm like, oh, it's Brett. Oh, I love him. He's my favorite.
Russell, I love you.
I love you too. I do.
Right. This is DesRaven's moment.
I'm sorry.
Okay, for the 4th time, I promise. DesRaven, tell us your feelings. They're not here. I just checked who's in stream. None of them are here. How are you enjoying being on the show? On their show?
Oh no, it's fantastic. I actually really, it's not, which I've actually told these guys this. I mean, it's not the same dynamic or feel that RNG had, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, groups coalesce differently.
Yeah,
and I really, I don't know. I kind of like the more stability.
That's a good word.
Within our current group dynamic, and I really enjoy it there, and it just feels more honest to be there. I mean, not saying, because I'll say now, I still love Buster like a brother, but we always didn't. There was a lot of friction there at times, which,
like, what kind of? No, I'm just kidding.
Not that kind, sadly.
It's not that kind of podcast, but flips over notepad, pours coffee. Let's deep dive.
But no, I mean, it was just rough. Like, it was usually challenged back in RNG, and I don't know, things are just, I don't know, they're more kind of accommodating, and there was actually, I think 2 weeks I couldn't record. Just because like my anxiety and stuff was just like skyrocketing, and I just couldn't do it at the time. And
I hear that, dude.
There was absolutely no issue. I told him, straight up's like, can't do it. Got some stuff going on. And there was no push to, but you should really make it on. It's just like, the show went on, and so yeah. So yeah, like I said, it definitely feels like a healthier environment, basically. There.
That's awesome, especially with you've moved to a whole new area, you started your own life, and now you've got a new podcast. You're on a part of it. Like, it's a whole fresh DesRaving, dude. This is really good for you, man.
I know, right? I know.
I'm really happy for you.
Yeah, and it's a podcast that I had like no hand in. I don't want to say I'm the guest there, but I'm kind of the guest there. Yeah.
I think you're going to be host in no time at all.
Well, I am host, but
Kingsley, I think he's probably going to quit Destiny any moment, and Sin's just there to edit. So I think you got a clear shot.
Oh Lord!
See, in our case, I have to murder Brett before I can become host.
That's true. That's true. There was a really long pause between you saying "murder me" and I was like, I don't think there's anything else coming. I think he just threw out that I just want to murder Brett. And I was like, well, all right.
It's been my goal all along.
Go.
Yeah. 16 years I've been befriending you just with the...
I'm going to wait till I'm state lines away, and then we're all set in our ways, and then I'll murder you. Thank God that wasn't recorded to be used in a court of law. Someone clip that, please, for future reference.
Just kidding.
Objection.
I throw it theoretically.
Oh, yeah.
Theoretically.
Theoretically, someone named Bustle may perchance want to strangle someone named Retb. I think so, yeah.
I would never kill you and then douse you in acid to hide the body and then bury you deep in the Colorado mountains. That would definitely be something I would never, ever do.
That's kind of how I want to go. I want to be buried deep in the Colorado mountains.
Can I'll do this for you if I can piss on your ashes.
On my ancestors?
Yeah. Well, sure, we'll go with that.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. When they all Mulan-esque come out of the ground, what you doing? You're like, he asked for it.
Then you can mix it up, make a blaster, form a little statue out of the ashes.
I like that.
Yeah. I could always carry you around with me. I'm sorry, Des. I keep distracting from your wonderful...
No.
We're both all over. I'm sorry, brother.
No, trust me. This is definitely the way... Y'all are all good.
Okay, good. Yeah, we're a little out of guest practice.
Were we ever in guest practice?
We were really good at it for a while there. We had specific interview questions. We'd bring someone on. Right. We'd flawlessly do an intro, jump right, tell us who you are, what you're doing. Boom, 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 boom. Everyone knows you. Wham, let's hit our talking point. Bam, let's do our questions. Bam, let's get out of here. And what are we now? Whoa. Rough. That's what we are now, Russ.
Oh, I don't think you're exactly remembering correctly, but it certainly sounds good.
It does. It sounds really good. Don't go back and listen. Promise.
This is one of those things you should just take our word for.
Yeah. But hey, Des. I just realized that I asked your name right. Was you muted? I do apologize for that.
No, it's good.
So what have you been up like recently, man? Like what's going on in Destiny? I know that's like most of what you're playing. Are you playing anything else? Like what's the latest scoop on what you're doing, man? Game-wise.
I do play a lot of Destiny. Nothing's really changed with how I play games. I mainline Destiny. I play whatever the crap I feel like on the side every now and again. Which today has been currently, as you may have heard, Breath of the Waifu, or aka Genshin Impact.
Breath of the Waifu, I love it.
Breath of the Waifu, yes.
It's beautiful. A lot of people have jumped back into that. I don't know if you're like consistently playing, but a lot of people have dove back in recently. It's cool.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
A couple good updates, like
Breath of the Waifu, is that Breath of the Wild?
No, it's Genshin Impact.
Genshin Impact, yeah.
But it plays.
Do you know what Genshin Impact is?
I think my little brother mentioned it. But what is Genshin Impact for those like me?
Take it away.
Genshin Impact is a gacha, which
Pretend like I don't know what a gacha is.
a gacha is Japanese for "I want your money." I'm only half joking.
so
on
It's
that.
it's a mobile game converted over, basically.
Well,
Okay.
gachas in particular are basically. Sorry, the source of the term gashapon, which gacha is short for, was the Japanese term for basically a quarter machine. You put your money in,
okay.
you get a thing at random, and that's gachas. You give them your money, you summon units at random to use. And that's the base pricing or marketing idea behind gachas. So yeah, but gachas like Genshin Impact are a little more interesting to me because they have actual like interesting gameplay to go with like the whole summoning aspect of it. Which Genshin Impact, the reason why it earned the nickname Breath of the Waifu is because it plays nearly identically to Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
And kind of focuses on the, I guess, young male demographic with
Sexy
waifu
women?
material
Yeah.
advertised. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
Oh, it looks
Yeah.
a lot like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the stamina system is almost identical to climbing system. Well, okay, I see this, but I've only watched a lot of Breath of the Wild. I've never actually played Breath of the Wild because I don't have a Switch or
I
anything.
personally have breathed a lot while in the wild.
Right? But yeah, I mean,
Nailed it.
at least from the outside perspective of Breath of the Wild, like Genshin Impact just plays a lot like that. There's even a glider that you use. But yeah,
So they're
and that,
stealing.
I mean, essentially, I mean,
Yeah, a lot of games are pretty close to each
They're
other.
playing an homage.
Yeah, exactly.
They're playing an homage
There you
to
go.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. So it's a big open world game where there's a lot of different like characters you can play as that you unlock during the story or from like the slot machine, air quotes.
There you go. Yeah.
That all have different abilities, weapons. The weapons individually you can upgrade, have different tiers of like star systems, or not a star system rating, not star system weapons. Heyo. For like power, and you upgrade all that, and there's like world bosses and dungeons and all sorts of stuff.
So
and every character has.
do you get to keep the summon after you've paid for them, or is it just like a one-use
Oh, yes.
item?
Oh yeah, you
thing?
keep them. Yeah. Oh yeah.
No. Yeah. Most gachas don't do the temporary thing.
Okay.
That and like gachas are very. Because of their semblance to gambling, they've actually, with the whole loot box ordeal a few years ago, gachas have come under some pretty heavy scrutiny to the whole, gaming/gambling thing.
Right.
So most gachas nowadays are a little more fair, and well, not all of them are fair, but they're at least honest about like their rates and stuff. They,
Sure.
You know,
So is
have
this
them
a
out and forward,
mobile
which
game?
it can be.
Yeah.
Okay.
It originally was a mobile game, if I remember correctly, right?
No,
And then it was
released
converted
everywhere.
over.
Well, it released everywhere simultaneously, and
Okay.
from what I hear, it runs absolutely garbage on a mobile device.
That's hilarious. It runs.
Yeah.
It's very fun to play on PC. And I've heard really good
I
things
played
about
on-
console. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I play on PS4, and it's with a lot of particle effects. It tends to chug just a little bit, but it's console.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right on. So you've been playing a ton of that, and what's new and what have you been up to? Like, what's the big thing? You're like, oh my god, I did this thing.
I guess the biggest thing I did, because I do also play Mortal Kombat 11 on the side, and please tell me you watched the Mortal Kombat movie in circa like what 96, I think it was.
yeah.
Your brother's soul is mine. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so Mortal Kombat 11 did an amazing thing about a month or so back, and they added classic movie skins, which which is the likeness of Sonia, Bridget Wilson, I believe.
Okay.
The likeness of Lyndon Ashby as Johnny Cage, and the likeness of Christopher Lambert as Raiden.
That's amazing.
And they got the actors to record voice lines for the skins.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I have
So it is
to do
legit.
this. That's amazing.
Bridget Wilson, Lyndon Ashby, and Christopher Lambert voicing these characters.
So awesome.
Because the best thing they did before that is Shang Tsung was one of their first DLC characters. And Shang Tsung at base is literally molded after Kerry Takagawa. He's voiced, he did the facial capture, so he's already there as Shang Tsung.
That is some
Mortal Kombat
intense
11.
facial capture.
Yeah, and so, yeah. It's actually glorious having 4... I'm just sad that they couldn't get Robin Shou to do Liu Kang, but
Yeah.
hey.
I'm surprised they didn't ask Russell to do it.
Please tell me that they actually have him saying, "Your brother so huge, Mike."
Dude, they have so many movie line references. Even before they added the actors, so many characters had. There's because they also added which was weird, because they had, of course, their story mode, which NetherRealm Studios has become almost famous for like their story modes and looks since Injustice 2.
They've done a great job. Like, I will watch the new Mortal Kombat, like people stream them just to see what's going on, because the story is legitimately awesome.
Oh yeah. I haven't played it. And I pulled up a video and I was like, this little cutscene. And I was like, all right, looking up for entire story by cutscene, 3 hours long. Let's watch.
Yeah. MK11 did their base story, and several months ago, they added what they called the Aftermath pack, which was actually more story. And it was more story that focused on certain DLC characters. So Kerry Takagawa as Shang Tsung gets a very prominent role in the Aftermath story. And yes, he says it has begun like 4 different times throughout the entire thing. It's glorious.
It has begun.
It's like some of his like match intro quotes. It is glorious.
Oh, I love it, dude. That's all. I have to check that out. We actually, when we started doing the movie nights in my Discord, that was like I think the first movies we watched was Bloodsport and Mortal Kombat.
Which Bloodsport is, I mean, if the stories are accurate, Bloodsport is what started Mortal Kombat.
If the stories are accurate, that's the greatest movie ever made.
Well, no, I'm saying because apparently Mortal Kombat started as a license deal for Bloodsport.
That actually does make sense now that I'm thinking about it.
Yes, because
kind of right there.
Yeah, because the rumor is that's why Johnny Cage looks so much like Jean-Claude Van Damme from Bloodsport, because it was going to be a Bloodsport game.
I could see that.
That actually makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but apparently, like I said, if the stories are accurate, like the licensing fell through, and they're like, well, we're just going to make a game like what we were going to make. It's just not going to be Bloodsport anymore. So, of course, they took inspiration from, like Raiden comes from like Big Trouble in Little China.
Such a good movie.
The Three Storms, I think it was.
Three Stooges, I think.
No, that was a thing too. But
Whoopsie.
And of course,
no.
And of course, MK11 has gotten some notoriety for some of their guest characters, such as the Terminator, RoboCop,
Spawn,
and Rambo.
Oh, I didn't know they had Rambo. I knew Spawn was on there, and I was really excited because I love Spawn.
So good.
Yeah, Spawn was cool. And the cool thing about all of these guest characters is the fact that, like Spawn, the same guy that voiced Spawn in the HBO animated series is who they got to voice Spawn.
Dude.
Yes.
That's
Sylvester
insane.
Stallone actually voiced Rambo for MK11.
Oh, I thought he was going to do the voice of the Terminator. That's my bad.
The dude, was it Peter or something? Anyway, the actor that played RoboCop voiced RoboCop. The only person that doesn't voice themselves, because apparently there was a scheduling conflict, is Arnold Schwarzenegger. He did not voice Terminator.
He's too busy driving tanks.
But apparently, again, if stories are accurate,
You got the
or if word from NRS is accurate, Arnold Schwarzenegger himself chose his sound-alike to voice the Lions in MK11. So
that is still pretty cool, though.
That is.
Yeah.
This is the guy I think most sounds like me. Is like probably the best compliment you could get as a voice actor, trying to do other people's voices.
Exactly, because I mean, who better to pick a sound-alike than the person you're trying to sound alike?
Yeah.
And like I said, it's got to be the biggest compliment. Like, oh, I'm that good. You know?
You think so? Oh, no.
But here's the thing, because I don't think I would be good at picking the person who sounded the most like me, because my voice sounds very different. Like, I listen to a recording of my voice and I'm like, that doesn't sound like me.
Well, that's because you sit 8 feet away from the microphone, so.
I do not. Don't make me get out my box of Cheetos.
Oh, dear God. End it now. Well, that's awesome,
sadly
man.
for me, I think that's kind of easy.
What, box of Cheetos?
Like, it's kind of, well, that's definitely very easy, but I don't know. I guess a guy that can sound and look like, basically the actor that could play me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. We're going back to what we were actually supposed to be talking about. I didn't make the connection. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Brett and I aren't very good at staying on
But yeah.
topic.
Not.
Neither am I. Apparently, y'all don't remember me very well because I'd swim right along that current. Too,
Okay,
so.
Good. Well, Russ.
Yes.
Dude, what have you been up to? What's new and exciting? What's good?
So
how was your trip?
Yeah, I was in Utah. It was really good. It was really good. Lindsay and I went up, we saw family, and it was a great relaxing time. We played board games like the entire week. We went on a hike, and then we hooked up. So her parents, they have like this movie theater room that has like a projector, and it has like the recliner seats that are lined up in rows and everything. And so my brother-in-law, so Lindsay's sister's husband,
Is that how that
he
works?
brought over the Wii Switch. Well, because it wasn't Lindsay's brother, which is also my brother-in-law.
Oh, gotcha.
It was my brother-in-law by proxy.
Also, did you call it the Wii Switch?
I guess it's not the Wii Switch, is it?
No.
no.
Just
or
Switch.
Was it? I think, folks, what he was trying to say is it was the smaller version of the Switch. So it was but a Wii Switch.
But to be, yes, apparently I don't know what I'm talking about. Thanks. No, so he brought over his Switch and we hooked it up to the projector. And so there was me, Lindsay's two brothers, him, and then the girls were playing some with us. So there was like 5 or 6 of us just playing Switch on this big projector screen.
That's so awesome.
It's like, it had to be like 80, 90 inches. It was a lot of fun. So we had a ton of fun. And then I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla because I finally finished Demon Souls.
Nice.
Which, quick story. And the story is I lost 180,000 souls.
It says
and I was like,
dude, you told a story of losing 50 last time and I cried. 180?
So I beat the game.
And hey, dude, grats.
So it starts a new game plus automatically, but you don't have a chance to cash in the souls that you get from beating the boss, which was like 113 all by itself. It was a crazy amount. So I had cashed 180,000 souls. I'm going through the first part of the game trying to get, because you can't level up or use your soul, like you can't just like bank your souls. You're holding on to them until you beat the first boss. It's new game plus, and I died to like a blue-eyed knight, and I was just like, so that I was like, because I was trying to get to that point, and then I was going to be done, and I was going to do Assassin's Creed Valhalla because I have a very large backlog of games to play at the moment.
Don't we all?
So I lost all those souls, and I was like, well, that's a good point to put this game away for a while. So I shut it off. And like Lindsay's standing right there because I'm trying to get back to my souls because I had already died. I was trying to get back to them. I died again, and I was like, Well, that's a good point to put this game away for a very long time. So that I don't break it.
Sweetheart, don't talk to me. I'm going to go for a very long walk with headphones in.
So luckily, because she's seen me play the Souls games before, and she's like, she's told me, she's like, I don't really like it when you play those. You get very snippy, but she was very understanding. She did not say. She literally was like, she looked at me and then she walked into the other room.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, Elmer Fudd. Hey, yes, myself.
What have you been up to?
Myself, you sound an awful lot like Russell. How does he do it? Well,
we've known each other for way too long.
I fractured my ankle today, so that's pretty good. Or sprained, not fractured. Sprained my ankle, and they're waiting for the swelling to go down so they can x-ray it again to see if there's a torn tendon. Because I can't tell, because the swelling is so bad. So, yeah, I got that going for me. Yeah. Yeah. For listeners.
Comp, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was doing my walking route at work, still at the post office. Hey, how you doing? And yeah, I decided to fall off, or slipped, tripped, and fell off of a customer's porch. And then thus decided to land on my ankle. Not landing on my foot and then falling onto the ankle. My ankle hit the ground first, and then the rest of me on top of it. And then I laid there for a while and went, I do not think I want to get up.
You contemplated your life choices, found them lacking.
I just sat. There was this dog across the street that was napping at the glass door. No one saw me fall that I know of. I'll find out next week when I'm on that street and everyone's like, "You're alive." But so I get up and I look across the street and this dog is just like with its face against the window looking at me with its head all sideways. And I'm like, dude, same. I hear you. And we just kind of shared a moment, but yeah. So then I limped my way back to the mail truck and called the office. And they're like, well, why don't you sit on it for a while and, let us know how it feels. And I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah, I'll sit on it. I'll sit on it at the emergency room.
Yep. I was like, I'm out of here. But yeah, so I got a nice big comfortable boot on, which is, can I say boot technology has come a long way.
Nice.
Yeah. And
did you say boot or boob?
Both. Actually, both of those technological advances have been insane recently. But yeah, so I probably should have said this.
Boot would be pretty comfy too.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh, absolutely. But I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning of the show. I am on pain medication right now, which is why I think me and Russell have been able to jump all over the place all night instead of what we're supposed to be talking about, which is my excuse. I don't know what Russ's thing is.
I was about to say, so what does that say about me?
Well, and you talked about this last week. Me and you bounce off really well. So if I'm on pain meds, you're basically on pain meds.
You know what? I'm going with it.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great...
I've saved you 3 times tonight. Look at me go.
And you're on pain meds.
Yeah. This is great. I'm going to be on pain meds. But no, that's not a good thing to do. Folks, don't get addicted to pain medication. All right? Help yourself. Okay.
Seek help.
Seek help.
The more you know.
But yeah, so this last weekend was that Warzone tournament that we talked about last time on the show. And I have some words to say about that tournament, my friends. I'll tell you what.
Uh-oh.
First and foremost.
What are those words?
First and foremost. That's all I wanted to say. We had
interesting words.
We had 14 teams register for this tournament, which is the biggest tournament we have had to date.
Nice.
14 teams. It was insane. We, a long time ago, were like, what's the cap? We're like, I don't know, 15. We'll never reach that. We got 14. It was nuts. There's a handful of teams we've had and a ton of people I'd never heard of in my life that reached out and were like, hey, I heard about this from so-and-so or so-and-so. I want to be involved. So we had all these new faces in there. Oh, it was so cool. I almost said DesRaving because I looked at the stream and your name is right there. It was not you. I had the glorious Admiral Nips from the Potato Thumbs podcast, who we need to have on our show, was my co-host for the evening. and he was an absolute incredible co-host. He got very drunk.
No surprise.
At the beginning, he's like, I'm working on these couple beers for the first hour, and then he held up this nice giant bottle of Japanese whiskey, and he's like, I'm gonna just sip on this the last hour, right? All right, Des, let me tell you something.
No.
He said, I'm going to sip on this whiskey for the last hour. Okay?
Half a bottle.
When the tournament ended, DesRaving, that bottle was empty.
Oh, God.
My friend, that man got, woo! It was a good time.
His definition of sip is definitely very drastically different than mine.
And I get it. We were having such a... I don't think we actually shoutcasted a damn thing. I think we just... I think it was on, and we just had such an... Like, I've been on his show, and we're doing a podcast, but I've never just, like, sat one-on-one with him and just talked. And we just had a nice time chatting while everyone else was working their butts off. But
I hope you know that's what you should expect tomorrow.
That's next week. Is
it next week? I thought it was tomorrow.
No, the 23rd.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you said the 13th.
No. Well, the 13th would be 2 days ago anyway, so you're wrong there.
Well, that's why I was confused. I was like, Saturday. Oh, he must mean...
No,
sure
23rd. No, I'll check my text right now while I'm telling my story. But wow, we talked a lot this last week. But yeah, so stream-wise, like, it was the best numbers I've ever had. It was the most ridiculous stream. Admiral Nips got very drunk and gifted 150 subs to my channel.
Oh, God.
Which is a lot. And then everyone else jumped on board and just started subbing and throwing subs and gifting here and there and everywhere. And I had to leave the room. I got so emotional for about 10 minutes. I sat in my chair and cried for a little bit. And like, it was an emotional roller coaster. And it was just one of the coolest experiences I've had. I just really wanted to share that. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely said the 23rd.
Okay, good. In your
but
face.
I am an idiot. And
That's
therefore...
true. That's true. All right, I want to talk about my foot and that. I don't think I have anything else really important to talk about, really. No. All right. So now that we're an hour into the podcast, just kidding. We had a long pre-show.
As you do.
So anyone in the stream, I'm getting in the habit of actually putting the topic on stream again because I'm smart. So you already know what we're talking about. But those of you listening, we're each choosing 3 games coming out in 2021, the year we are currently residing in. What's happening in the gaming industry? What can we see? What things are we excited about? And so we each picked 3. We're going to go around. Each of us kind of talk about one, loop around and around and around. Russ, my plan was to do all that stuff you wanted me to do. And then I was at the ER all day.
That's okay.
I hope you can forgive me because that's what I was going to work on today.
Oh, no, and of course I forgive you.
Okay, good. I love the idea. I was excited you had an idea. I love it when you have an idea.
Ooh.
I wanted to.
I wouldn't get too excited about
That's
that.
why I got excited. Folks, I don't know if you know, it's been 7 years since Russ's last idea. So this is a really big moment for us.
Let's be clear here. It's been 10 since my last good idea.
Truth. 7 since the last idea, 10 since the last good idea. Yeah. What was your last good idea?
Marrying Lindsay.
Was that 10 years ago?
No, that was only 4 years ago.
Oof. So this is a really awkward moment we're having right now.
Don't tell my wife.
Okay. All right. Clipping. What's your wife's email on an unrelated note?
Asking for a friend.
I resent my husband 427@gmail.com.
Luckily, I have a very forgiving wife. She is very understanding of my foibles.
That's a good word. Also, you have
Wiggles.
the perfect wife
I do.
for you.
I do.
And that's not a diss on her because I'm married, so I can't say your wife is perfect because that would then sound bad for me. And we'd just be in a circle
Right.
digging ditches for ourselves
But-
over and over. Yeah. Yeah. So for you,
we're each trying to give each other a handout, and we're just continuously going down.
there are puzzle pieces that fit closely to certain puzzles, but there's only one piece that fits perfectly. And of the puzzle of Russell, you found the piece for you. Is that better?
I did.
Okay. Good.
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree. She is the most amazing woman I've ever met in my entire life. She is the apple of my eye, the joystick to my controller.
I feel like you're going a different direction right now.
Right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to throw stuff out there. That
Yeah. She has described me before as the vibrating senses in an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
She is
DesRaving,
the
why don't you
haptic
start us off,
controller.
sir? What's your first game you want to talk about that you are excited for in 2021 as our guest here on Just Some Guardians at twitch.tv/JustSomeGuardians? And that is the podcast you're listening to. Go ahead, Des.
Just in case you came at the wrong podcast.
I know, right? I don't know because, like I said, like the games I'm most hyped for. Like I legitimately had to look up games coming out in 2021
I'm in the same
because
boat.
I haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, this last year I already knew stuff. This year I had no idea what was coming.
Yeah. So I mean, hilariously, because you sent me the message like, "Yeah, we're doing this thing, 3 games in 2021." I'm like, what if 2 of my games aren't in 2021? They don't have release dates. But I'll get to those afterwards. Because I guess for the first one, I'll stick to the rules. Coming out in 2021 next month, I believe. Actually,
really?
I think so. If I saw correctly, and I'm most interested to see how it is because it's very rare for this subject to have a game on it. And the game is called Werewolf the Apocalypse.
Ha
Oh
I
God!
knew I needed backup.
Fair.
When 2 minds are. Did I know that was on both your lists and didn't say a word? You betcha.
I knew.
But yeah, it's always interesting to see. Oh God, what's it called now? World of Darkness, I believe. Style RPGs to be represented on PC.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know they released. I can't remember if it was a remake or a sequel, but they actually did another Vampire the Masquerade, which didn't sound quite as interesting as the original. Oh, it hasn't released yet? Okay.
There is no
but I've
date yet, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean the only other one then is indeed Vampire the Masquerade, which released on PC, which White Wolf, there we go. That's the company that does the storytelling RPG system.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, which as a young lad, I did play
as a wee lad.
Oh, I wasn't quite wee. I mean, I was about 13-ish, maybe.
As a wee 13-year-old.
Which may or may not have been 20 years ago. But
quick math. That makes you 74.
36, but close.
I was really close. I'll spot on. Hey, don't worry. Me and Russ, we're not too far behind you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Not too far. No.
So yeah, I was like 13 when I rolled my first Vampire the Masquerade character, which I believe was a Malkavian, because insanity. Ha ha ha. So yeah, so when I saw Vampire the Masquerade, I thought it was cool, and it was very interesting. Like, but of course, I mean, it was late 90s, early 2000s, more so probably towards early 2000s, about 06-ish, maybe. crap, I don't even remember when it was
And
released.
this is
but
the
it looks
tabletop RPG what you're talking about, or is this now you're talking the game?
yes. Because it is awful early 3D graphics, and it looks terrible by today's standards because it looks like a PS1 game.
Oh no, PS1 games were pretty sexy.
No, not the 3D polygons.
No,
No,
especially the 3D polygons. Man, I've
Yeah.
looked at many a woman's thigh and went, that'd be better if it was 3D PS1 style polygons.
If only it was 3 giant triangles I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, often
I don't know where the
I
third
find
one
myself
came from, but
at the
two
strip.
are very alluring.
Yeah. Yeah. Often I find myself at the strip club of my mind and go, it's no Tomb Raider.
but good God. So like I said, I know like literally nothing about it, sadly, but like I said, I saw the fact that there's Werewolf the Apocalypse. I mean, that's a White Wolf title. That's hopefully going to be
Is it
very
really? I
interesting.
didn't know it was White Wolf.
Yeah. I believe so. I'm fairly certain Werewolf the Apocalypse is White Wolf.
I'm looking now.
No.
Where are you? Publisher, developer, Cyanide.
Well, I mean, White Wolf does the tabletop version.
The tabletop version is by tabletop is by
White Wolf is the person who does the tabletop.
White Wolf Publishing.
Well, they have a
White Wolf and Onyx Path.
Yeah, they have a werewolf. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a werewolf, and then they have a vampire tabletop RPG.
Thank you,
Well, and that's also
Mark.
put
But I didn't know.
What didn't you know?
Ooh.
What didn't you know, Russ?
Oh, I didn't know that they were the werewolf apocalypse, Earth, Blood, Death, whatever it's called. It has like 5 different titles. I didn't know that it was based off of the White Wolf tabletop RPG.
I mean, if it's not, I'm going to be very disappointed.
I would love it if it was, because I know Vampire the Masquerade is a really cool system to play in, and I've been excited about that game, and I was already excited about Werewolf, but I'm excited. I'd be more excited if it has that kind of depth to it.
Yes,
that they have
in
that RPG.
It is indeed based on the World of Darkness Werewolf the Apocalypse.
That's awesome.
And it's coming out February the 4th.
This looks great.
Pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, that's going on my list.
I love like a White Wolf like style of like focusing a little more on like narrative and stuff, and like they have because they have Vampire the Masquerade, they have Werewolf the Apocalypse, they have a setting. I mean, they're all part of the same setting, but you know they have. I guess they could be considered different supplements, because of course they can be mixed and matched.
Right.
But yeah, they have one about people that hunt monsters, changelings. I think they have a mummy one. They have one about ghosts. It's
with Brendan Fraser, right?
Ridiculous. No.
With Tom Cruise.
There you go.
Shut your mouth.
And that's not even going into the difference between classic World of Darkness and like the new World of Darkness, because all of their titles got doubled because of reasons, and then they went back and started re-updating the classic, so now they actually exist side by side. Super weird, but you know, yeah, I'm super stoked to like at least hear about it and see how it does, because that could potentially be something, you know, I can get into.
Hell yeah, man.
So they do actually have a couple of trailers for it, and it appears that there's 3 different modes, right? Because you can turn into I have no idea what that was. So you can turn into a wolf, right? Which is supposed to be like your stealthy, fast movement, move from place to place kind of mode.
Yeah, as a werewolf, that makes sense.
Right. And then you have your hybrid mode, which is like wolf, but it's like halfway between wolf and human. So you're bigger, you're muscular, you're more akin to like werewolves from Underworld, right?
Which
If
if
anybody watched that movie, and so that
Yeah.
one's supposed to be more combat focused, and then there's supposed to be the human side, and you're supposed to be able to change pretty readily in between the three different forms as you're moving through these levels. And from what I understand, you play like the werewolf that you play is part of an eco-terrorist group. It's fighting against this Enron type conglomerate of like it almost seemed like big oil from what I saw and from what I've heard. It's you're fighting against this big oil group that's killing the earth, and
Yes.
it's very, very interesting. And I'm excited for it because being able, I love playing games where you can be the monster.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
dude.
so fun.
Absolutely.
And so I'm really excited because even though you're a protagonist, you're getting to be the werewolf, and typically you're the monster hunter or whatever.
Mhm.
And so
sweet.
getting to be, oh, did you not know that?
No, I'm sorry. I read something. Something else that makes me super stoked is apparently Cyanide worked with White Wolf Publishing to make sure the story of Werewolf the Apocalypse is true to source.
That's amazing.
That makes me look, because the concern I've had with it is it seems like a really cool idea and concept. The fact that you're eco-terrorist fighting against like a big oil group is a little like it could be really corny and cheesy, but knowing that they've working closely with White Wolf, that makes me think that the story will, because the gameplay looks good and I'm gonna get it just because of the gameplay.
Oh yeah.
But also knowing that it gives me higher hopes for the story mode as well.
Yeah, indeed. Like, yeah, I'm like
absolutely.
definitely stoked to see what it's about. And,
add it
like,
to my list, and I will put this list together for everybody so you all can go through it and add it to your own, or if there's stuff you didn't know about. This is a good way to look at it. Russell, my man.
Yes.
What is a game that is upon the list that you have written for this podcast, Just Some Guardians?
Yes. So the one that I'm gonna start with this one. I'm gonna start with Evil West.
Fievel Goes West.
Brett, as I describe this, you are gonna flip.
I just looked at the logo, and that's it. I'm ready.
So you play as this character named Jesse Renter, who apparently is part of this vampire hunting family or group. And so it looks almost like a Red Dead meets Castlevania, Lords of Shadow kind of thing. Because it takes place in the Wild West, and their synopsis of it is describing you are becoming a superhero. Like they just keep saying that over and over and over again. You're becoming a Wild West superhero. You're becoming a Wild West superhero. But like apparently it's got some RPG elements because you can upgrade your gadgets as you go through. And like, so they have this gauntlet. Like I guess one of his main weapons is this gauntlet, which has blades that can shoot out of it. Or one of the cool things is it like forms out this like a knuckle duster. But apparently what it imprints the insignia of the family or the university that he belongs to when you punch people with it.
Rentier Institute. I just saw that picture.
Right.
Yeah. That looks amazing.
Right. And they said that you can apparently it's customizable. You can kind of play your own way. I don't know if that means you can focus on weapons or your gadgets or focus on specific gadgets. But one of the cool things is it's also going to be single player and co-op.
Dude, I love. We need more co-op games. I love co-op.
The trailer is really awesome. Yeah, I from what I understand, somebody said it was gameplay, like it was a gameplay trailer, but it looks a little too good. But next gen, so I don't know.
It could be.
But you see him, and he's like walking away from this shining chapel where the light's in, and then all of a sudden it goes dark, and the chapel's on fire. And then you see all these vampires start popping up around him, and he turns around and he shoots one, and then he stabs another one, and then he just like just caves in the head of one with his knuckle duster, and then it shows him in like this almost hellscape, like a mine or something like that. It's a blend of Wild West, and I hope it's going to be almost Red Dead type.
Yeah,
that feel of the Wild West with vampires, because
that would be awesome. Dude, this line right here: "Evil never sleeps, but it bleeds."
Yes.
And anyone that used the word visceral in their description of their combat, I'm sold. I'm sold.
Yeah. So
this looks I didn't know this was even a thing. This is why I love doing this.
Yeah, because in preparation for the show, I was like, I want to find out what things are planned. And I don't know if this one's supposed to come out this year. I think
it says so. It just says 2021 on the official website.
And with COVID, we could see a lot of delays. Hogwarts Legacy was on my list, and then because it's not coming out this year, I pushed it off, and because it got delayed until next year. But yeah, it just looks awesome, and I knew so Brett would get a kick out of it too. Yeah,
dude, I'm hooked. This looks amazing. Yeah. In visceral explosive combat, unleash hell with your firearms, lightning-fueled gauntlets and gadgets. That visceral sounds amazing. Combat. Yeah, visceral and it's an 80s movie TV poster.
Right.
At the end of the trailer, it has him shooting up into the sky as he's like coming down to punch the earth, and like all this lightning is shooting out from him as like this just horde of demons is pouring in. And I'm like, yes, I am so there for this.
There you go. Evil West. Flying Wild Hog is the developer. I've never heard of them. What have they done?
Heard of them either.
I'm gonna look them up real quick. Have you looked at this yet, DesRaving?
I have not. I have not heard. This definitely like flew under my radar, but does sound.
Ooh, they're from Poland.
At least partially amazing.
I think it flew under a lot of people's radar. It's not one that's being talked about a lot. I saw it in like it was in like a top 20 list kind of thing of like games that are coming out. And I saw the trailer and I was like, ooh, that looks interesting. And the more I researched on it, the more I was like, yeah, I'm here. I'm here for this.
So they did the Shadow Warrior games. I don't know if you guys ever played those.
Oh god, the new ones?
Yeah. Shadow Warrior, Shadow Warrior 2, Shadow Warrior 3.
Yeah, the new ones. Yeah, that's I've seen bits of Shadow Warrior 2, and that actually looks pretty it looks pretty smooth. Like as far as the gameplay and stuff goes.
Is that the first person thing?
Yes. It's a first person shooter video game, yeah.
Where you're like a ninja?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think I did. I did see
based off of the
really smooth.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Which gives me hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of stuff that these guys have really done. So this is like this could be their game to push them forward. That's cool.
Yeah, the game where the main character's name is Lo Wang.
Yes.
Swing low.
I'm not kidding, because he's probably only still called that because he's based off of a 90s first-person shooter, which kind of copied the Duke Nukem method. Instead of being like a stereotypical action star, he's a stereotypical Asian. So yeah, it was a funny game. It's a great game. Hilarious, but of course, probably considered pretty racist today, and fair because it probably is.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
But they're Polish, so they can get away with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Brett.
Yeah.
What is on your list?
Dude, one of the games that I am insanely... It's slated for this year, but it's not 100% confirmed yet, but I'm putting on my list because I'm very excited for it, is Horizon Forbidden West.
Yes.
If you have not experienced Horizon Zero Dawn in your life, turn off my voice right now. Go to the store. Go to Amazon. Don't go to the store. It's a pandemic. Go to Amazon or wherever site you'd go to, order Horizon Zero Dawn. Sit down, put your massive surround sound headset on, turn the lights off, and just lose yourself to it. It is one of the most beautiful gaming experiences I've had. The story is phenomenal. The combat is so good. The graphics and like the world setting, we're done so well. To have more of that, of this story as as 5 goes west, right? She's gonna go. Where is this? I think this takes place from her journey across the western United States from Utah to San Francisco.
Nice.
Which is awesome. And also, like, one of the cool things is how in the Horizon game, right, is they do a really good job of incorporating big monuments from like real life and putting that in the game. So like Red Rocks Amphitheater is 12 minutes from my house. I've gone to many a show there, and I like rid a robotic dinosaur through Red Rocks Amphitheater in Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm like, I've saw a show here. Like, it's like little stuff like that. It's so good. But yeah, so if you watch the trailer for that, like it looks, because I think the original one came out in 2017, right? Yeah.
It's been a while. And
it was like, nothing looked, still, the graphics look better than a lot of games that come out today. I know it's really not a lot of years in today's world, but like how far we do in graphics, but it still holds up very well. I'm excited to see how they push the limit. It says it will be, I like after this whole Cyberpunk thing, they did specifically say it's being built to release on it's going to release on the PS4, but it's being built to take advantage of the PS5 stuff. So they put a warning in there, like, just so you know, it's not going to be what you see when you buy it here. So I like that warning, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's legitimate. I mean,
it's a good warning. And the water effect, like going underwater, she's doing the snorkeling stuff with fish going overhead, and the lighting is just the color palette. I'm a big, I use the term color palette a lot because I'm very into, I really pick out palettes from different games and how they do things. And like, it's just so gorgeous in this one. So yeah, so that's me. My first game I'm very excited for was Horizon Forbidden West. Look out for that. Nice. DesRaving. What do you got?
Apparently I have to leave because I haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn, so I have to go do that real quick.
Very good. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead and link your socials real quick.
Good seeing you.
Yeah, if you could link your socials real quick, and we'll see you later. Thank you. But I have? I think my copy. I think I have a physical copy. Do you have PS4?
Yeah.
If you don't want to buy it, I will mail it to you.
Oh Lord, no, I actually I could borrow it off somebody.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Whatever.
My brother-in-law like positively adores it. And it's just one of those games
that nice bonding moment
gotten around to. You know, it's okay. Save the shipping. I want to save you money.
Okay.
But
unpopular.
So yeah, this next one
it was not my favorite.
Fair.
That's cool. Russ, you know, everyone is allowed to be wrong sometimes.
I know. I said it was an unpopular opinion.
That's fine. We'll talk about that. We'll talk after the show. Folks, this will be a solo show next week. Russell's been kicked off. There we go. On an unrelated note, yeah. We never saw him again. Now, what's your next game, brother?
My next game breaks all the rules because it's definitely not coming out this year. It does not even have a trailer. Sorry, but yeah. But it has started at least because with pandemic and everything, it has at least started like motion capture last year.
Okay.
Early-ish, probably about midsummer last year. And of course, like I said, I'm starting with this one because I'm definitely most hyped for it because, I mean, I played the first one and, oh my god, it's such an experience. But it is Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2.
Yes.
Ooh.
That.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing because I was late to the Final Fantasy VII remake party, um,
Uh-huh.
but only like by about a month, I think. But that's
Sure.
because I knew I was gonna enjoy it, but I was, just giving it some time. I'm going to be pre-ordering part 2 because my God, was remake amazing. And I super 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 stoked to see what they do with part 2 because I still don't want to like spoil it for people, but the way part 1 ends, oh,
Well, I'm
It's how again?
just I
mm.
Okay.
yeah, and I'm excited to get because from what I know of Final Fantasy VII, the next part, and I don't know how many parts they're going to break it up into, but it's where
Nobody
you
knows.
start to get
Nobody.
the backstory
A lot
of
Yes.
of a lot of the people. Like you get like the answers to a lot of the things that kind of come up in the first part that are like, oh, that's kind of weird, or what's going on here? And
Yeah.
This is a little off, yeah.
why does Barrett have a gun for a hand?
Yeah, a lot of because what I will say is, of course, I mean, information that's easily known. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake stops off, for those that have played 7, it stops off at the end of Midgard, which I think is a beautiful choice.
Gorgeous
Because
choice.
because it feels like a natural. I was kind of surprised when like playing Final Fantasy VII that Disc 1 didn't end with leaving Midgard.
Don't get me even
But
started. What did you play finally? What did you play the original release in 1997 on?
I actually didn't play it in '97 because I played it first on PC because I didn't have a PlayStation at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was a
That's
little bit
what I
later,
played it on,
but
and that was like 9
Yeah.
discs.
yeah, because well, at least 4 because we had the normal 3 play discs and then an installation disc.
Oh, so you had the I had like the first launch of it on PC, and it was seriously like
Oh wow!
it was ridiculous. You'd be like, all right, I'm gonna go here on the map. Insert disc 3. Okay. Boom. Okay. Disc 3. Okay. All right. I finished that quest, and I got to go back. Insert disc 2. Okay. Yep. All right. Yeah. All right. Finish that. Insert disc 4. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh. It was a never-ending journey.
Yeah, apparently, I guess mine was the release after because again, it was 4 discs, so it followed the natural disc 1 through 3, but plus installation.
Mhm.
But yeah, with what they did with remake, and like I said, we don't even know 100% what even's going to happen because the way part 1 ends, they can of course follow the story, and like Russell said, this is where we start diving into like the meat and potatoes of what's happening in the world and why things are happening to begin with. But then there's a whole nother layer to the remake that I strongly suggest if anyone hasn't finished it yet, to most definitely finish it.
It would be
because I
important
mean,
to finish it before you move.
yes,
If we're planning
for
on
sure.
definitely finish because it there's so much. There's so much that happens that could take it in a very different direction. I don't think they'll get too far away.
No, I don't think they could.
I don't think either.
Yeah.
I think people would have a conniption fit. But
I mean, people already are.
but
Within
This isn't exactly how I recall.
right.
But having
God.
the potential for being able to make some very pivotal choices that you were not able to make in the original one.
Yeah, I know. It's
could
going to be stoked.
things. Yeah.
And apparently, Square Enix has trademarked 2 titles recently. One is called The First Soldier.
Okay.
Which in Final Fantasy VII context is definitely potentially Sephiroth.
Sure.
But then there's another. Yeah, then there's another. It's called Ever Crisis, which is extraordinarily curious because for those that have experienced the entire compilation of Final Fantasy VII, you know, at least like 2 games have Crisis in their name. One is Crisis Core, the other is Before Crisis. Because, you know, so yeah, so the naming of Ever Crisis definitely puts it in line with something. We still just don't know exactly what. And yeah, it's crazy because, yeah, things happen and we don't know 100% how well they'll stick to how things go moving forward. So and to me, like that's super pivotal because I mean, for me, my interest is constantly held in, you know, what's going to happen. And like I said, they fleshed out so much in Remake Part 1. Like there's so many more characteristics. Things were so much more impactful in Part 1 because characters actually had, you know, hopes, dreams, desires, and like goals.
Yeah, and something really interesting with that is these are some of the most famous household characters. Well, not regular, like Mario household, but like, you know, if you're into gaming, you usually know these characters and love these characters. And there really wasn't a lot of really in-depth story behind them at the time. So to take these characters we already adore and then give that to us, oh, it's so nice.
And like I said, I mean, and the addition of like, because I mean, what they've done is like a lot of new characters in Part 1 were actually like written into the story like later, like Tifa's landlady was a part of a book called On the Way to a Smile, I believe it was called, where she so yeah, so apparently like there was like 3 or 4 characters that were added that I thought were entirely new, but they ended up being from that book and retroactively placed like where they would be like in the universe at that time. So I thought those were like really awesome. Yeah, like really awesome decisions. And then of course there's the absolutely new addition of the psychotic soldier 3rd class Roche.
Yes.
Which he's an entirely new character. He's a wild card, and they have stated that Part 2 will feature Roche more. So we're going to be seeing Roche again in Part 2.
Roche!
Which, yeah, I love his character. He's like psychotic. He's mad. He's just absolutely crazy. He's great.
He was the one on the motorcycle, right?
Yes, he had the big red motorcycle.
That was like, I really want to fight you, so I'm going to fight all these other guys off. They can't beat you.
Yes.
Because I have to.
No, right? It's like we've got to dance, and just like drives his motorcycle around,
dance.
Like knocking people out with the back tire, and it's like, all right, let's go. And it's like, you're crazy, dude.
I think I'm good with this. Yeah, dude, that's gonna be. There's got to be a ton of parts. Like,
and
once you leave Midgard, there's so many ways the story could go.
Yeah,
and also which direction they could go first.
Right, but
Omega weapons. So much of the game, even just the original game, that hasn't been covered yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I know speculation right now is a lot of people are hoping basically because it was the first game was within Midgard, so it's kind of smaller scale. People were hoping for a little more open world because in the original game, that's when the world opens
to an insane degree.
Yeah. And then, and I know there was a rumored leak that potentially has Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 coming out in 2022, but that was before pandemic, so...
Who knows?
Exactly. Yeah. But, like I said, it is on course. Sometime early to mid last year, they were starting motion capture, which means they're definitely... pretty far-ish along, probably, because if they've already started motion capture, that means they already have like story and crap like that and direction,
I think they've had the story for a long time. I think that's
for sure.
Like, they know how many parts they're gonna do. They know what each part's gonna contain. I think a lot of the reason,
anything.
right? And I think a lot of the reason that they waited and they did break it up in parts is probably some of it's due to next gen, because then that open world that you encounter in where you get to explore Midgar, you'll actually get to explore Midgar in these next gen consoles.
Yeah, and one thing I'm super hoping for, like on a personal level, is because Final Fantasy VII Remake, very strangely, does not use Square Enix's like in-house game engine.
Yeah.
It uses Unreal 4, which is super weird because Square Enix has used like in-game engine or in-house engines almost forever.
Oh, you want to be our game? Yeah, you have to use this. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And like currently, that's I think it's called. Oh crap, I forget now. Anyhow,
That's a weird name for an engine.
I know, right? But with them using Unreal 4,
easy to remember.
I'm like super hoping that they upgrade and import over to Unreal 5.
That'd be sick, considering dude. As we go.
Considering it is kind of being developed by Epic a little more with consoles in mind than PC. So, better optimized feel. And if you've seen that tech demo for
oh my God, yes.
Unreal 5.
For 5? Ooh. Dude, that was mind-blowing.
It was crazy what they could do. And that's the kind of crap Part 2 really needs if you're going to start opening up the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's going to be a sweet one when it finally gets to us. Right. Russell, what's your next game?
Yes. So my next game, and I don't know if this one is coming out next year.
I'll find out.
I haven't heard otherwise. God of War 2.
Ragnarok, right? Ragnarok.
Yeah.
That is going to be... where did I just saw it?
Oh, have they announced something?
Ragnarok. It is. Right on spur of the most, just Santa Monica Studios yet to reveal any detail beyond its 2021 release window. So it's not officially with a date, but that is the release window. Yes.
Right. Wait, they actually have a 2021 release window though.
Window.
They didn't even show anything for the announced trailer except for the freaking logo. I thought they were way earlier than that.
That's all you need.
But remember when they released God of War, they had that quick where you just hear his voice.
Yeah.
Right? You see the kid and then you hear his voice, you see him, and then that's where it ends. It was like a 10-second trailer. Right? He walks out of the shadows and boom.
That's their style, yeah. Oh, and
they
it works.
Did that exactly a year before.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, okay.
I think it's a similar thing. Like they've been working on it since God of War came out. They knew they were going to do a second one. I mean, that did so well. Sony was immediately like, and I think Sony greenlit it even before because they knew the strength of the franchise, and so it would be a safe bet to go ahead and greenlight it. So they've probably been working on this at least since God of War came out, probably before, as soon as they finished up with God of War.
Well, I do know the director mentioned most of his ideas for this current God of War was after his son was born.
Right.
But yeah.
So we don't know much about it yet, but we do know some of what was happening in God of War. So I'm curious, and I kind of want this to be the case. Not that I want Kratos to die. I enjoy playing as Kratos.
Mm-hmm.
But to transition into the new God of War, I think that would be a cool thing. Like, I was kind of hoping he was going to die in the last one. He didn't. Because I feel like it would be a pivotal moment of the story.
Yeah,
and to get some new abilities, you've kind of entered into this new aspect of the franchise. I feel like it's a good opportunity. You've tied it in, you've blended them together, and then just go forward with Loki as the God of War.
Oh, okay, you said it. Good. That means I don't have to stop myself from saying
it. Okay, look, if I'm spoiling anything for you, it's been out for
Yeah.
2 years. So
3, 4.
Sorry, not sorry. You should have played it already.
Yeah, and actually, hilariously, while I was off for a year, that is one game I borrowed from someone to play through before I got my internet back, was God of War, and oh my god! I was so sad to have waited.
Yeah. In my opinion, unquestionably, the game of the year that year.
Oh, yeah.
If not the game of the last several years. And in my mind, beating out Red Dead Redemption simply because of game mechanics. The game controls in God of War were so good.
They were.
In Red Dead, they take a little getting used to. They're a little fidgety. They're good. They're not great. In God of War, perfect control over the axe, over yourself, over Loki, or boy, as he likes to be called.
Boy.
It was the game mechanics were just so good. The story was delicious and so well voice acted, and even the portrayal of the emotions as I love that as you're riding around and you have what's his name, the head,
Mimir.
As he's telling stories, if you look, you can actually see his lips moving.
Yeah.
As he's telling you these stories and you're riding around in the boat, or as he's hanging on your hip. It's such a little detail, and it just, it's so
nice.
Good. I'm so excited for the next one.
I have it. Santa Fan 711 finally sent it to me. The first God of War.
Have you not played it?
I haven't been able to play it because I haven't been able to get it. So he finally mailed it to me, and it's on my list before Ragnarok.
Yeah, definitely.
I know.
Definitely do.
I've watched the whole thing twice, and I still want to play it.
Yeah,
it actually is so good. It feels good.
Yeah,
I was actually the same way.
Incredible.
Yeah, and they've done a marvelous job going from, because I mean, this God of War was like, it was so not different. A God of War. Yeah, it was not a God of War game, because God of War was mindless hack and slash. Because that's why I stopped playing God of War, because between 1 and 2 felt very samey, and it's like, all right, whatever. But yeah, from that to this is just so different and refreshing.
Oh, and it's so deep. It's just so and I love, again, I'm sorry, I'm gushing a little bit. That moment where he gets the Chaos Blades. I mean, again, spoilers, but he just, when he pulls them out and you see him, and I got goosebumps.
Yes, goosebumps.
As he's pulling them out, and I'm like, oh man. I haven't had that visceral of a reaction to a game in a long time. I think since Halo 3 or Halo 2, there was a moment in there that I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. But that moment where and you could feel the sadness as he's taking these things that he has given up and finally freed himself up. Oh gosh. So I'm really excited for that game.
Yeah.
Simply because of how wonderful God of War was.
Yeah, it's fantastic and amazing. And like I said, the attention to detail, when Atreus is starting to rebel against Kratos, you actually lose control of what he's doing during that moment, and it's just like, wait, that's not what I told you to do. Wait.
And, oh my gosh, they did such a good job. And just the way the story's told, and like you said, even just through the game. Anyway, God of War 2.
Yeah, God of War 2.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, hopefully Jeff Goldblum's in it.
Take down Thor in Uden.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Oh, is it my turn now?
Yeah.
Right?
That's
No, don't apologize. That was a legit, I forgot the order we were doing it. Not that you talked forever. 100%. No, you were fantastic.
Remember, pain meds.
Yeah, pain meds. Yeah. Hey, it's my turn. Hey, hello.
It's pick number 2. Pick number 2.
Speaking of 2, get out of here, Stalker. It's Stalker 2. So, the Stalker games It's an acronym. STALKER. Yes,
Was
DesRaving.
Stalker the game where you're like this dude in a space station and like you?
No.
No. What am I thinking
I
of?
think you're thinking Paranoia?
Because like
It's the one with like black aliens?
No, was that Paranoia?
Not
I think so.
Because
that was
because
they're
like
like
you're
little
fighting
black
like these.
blobby.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, never mind. All right, fair. Sorry.
Yeah,
Move on.
you're good. You're good. Yeah, no. So Stalker it's a first-person shooter survival horror video game. So basically, like Chernobyl, right? That's a thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a quarantine zone, right? And
Yeah.
people that want to go in there to live, survive, and find treasures to earn money or whatever, they're called stalkers. It's a lifestyle. People that go in there, and it's become a cult classic of games. The first one came out in 2007 with a couple DLCs that came out later, and the memes for Stalker are just on another level. But yeah, so we're getting, like, I think the last time anything launched for this was like 2009. So Stalker 2 is coming this year, and I'm very excited. The cult classic PC shooter returns in 2021 with a unique blend of FPS, immersive sim, and horror. And the game can be extremely there's a lot of visual effects of the, like, when you're near certain things, like the screen warping, or like it just, when your guy gets scared, like your hand, everything is jittery as you're trying to do stuff and you can fail to do things, like depending on how scared you are. And there's this whole society of people living in there that you have to like befriend or you're against, and they'll shoot you on sight. And it's this constant, like, how far in do you want to go with the equipment you have to try to get stuff, to get better equipment, to go further in and unlock, like, you know, secret government stuff? Or are you going to take contracts, just be an assassin for this guy? It's this open world, like, not open world, but it's within, you know, the confines of that area, you know, but yeah, it can get, and there's, you know, animals have gone crazy from radiation. And so there's these weird, like, zombie beasts that roam everywhere, and people going nuts. And, you know, there's bad people that are in there just to rob and steal because they don't want to go in and find stuff. And you can go in and explore and getting better equipment to help you get further and get through not the paranormal, you know, the weird stuff happening in the world and whatnot. The pain meds are hitting me really hard right now. But yeah, look it up. It's a fantastic series of games that have brought out a whole, like, clothing style of choice for people. Get out of here, Stalker is one of my favorite things that no one understands when I say it. It's anytime you go anywhere in the game and someone doesn't want you there, you hear it a million times as you play. Get out of here, Stalker. And so, like, I just say it all the time. Nice. Or like a man holding a handgun, but he still has his hand in front of it like he's holding a rifle. It's one of the best memes of the internet. You see, Ivan.
It was a bit buggy, right?
Oh, absolutely.
There were some, like, I remember it being, from what I understand, it was kind of, when it first hit, it was pretty buggy. You know, it became kind of a cult classic, and then as it got patched and people started to play through it, it became more popular, but never really quite hit mainstream.
Yeah, it was, some would say, too cheeky for its own breaky.
What's a breaky?
You just have to play and find out.
All
you
right.
just got to understand. But yeah.
Sounds like the sound I make when Lindsay waxes my butthole.
Breaky! Breaky! Yeah, Stalker 2. I'm very excited. I actually didn't realize till when I was doing my research for what we want to talk about tonight, and that was at the bottom of a list I found, that I'm like, wait. Well, I like when there's that game that not a lot of people, like, not a huge group of people play, but you see it and you're like, oh! And you just get over the top excited, you know?
Right.
And that was that moment for me. It's super cool. But yeah, look that up. The Stalker series is awesome. The memes that have come out of it are incredible. The community is hilarious. It's a way of life. Nice. Cheeky breeky, my friends. Cheeky breeky.
You're my cheeky breeky.
I don't know about that.
I do.
DesRaving, your third and final game
Yes.
you wish to discuss with us tonight on this podcast, Just Some Guardians.
All right, so my third game, breaking the rules again.
You've broken the rules every single game.
No, not the first one. The first one's coming out next month.
You're right. You're right.
But no, this one potentially has potential to come out this year. Definitely has more potential to come out this year than 7 Remake Part 2. And it has an announcement trailer.
Yes,
at
it does.
the very least.
And it's amazing.
It is. That is Final Fantasy 16.
Oh my gosh. You have got to be kidding me, dude. You have taken all my backups.
Oh god. I'm sorry.
you're
But
not.
yeah,
Oh,
but for those listening that no, I'm not really sorry, because for those listening that don't know me, I am a ginormous Final Fantasy nerd.
What?
It is my favorite franchise of all time. Because I'm an RPG guy. Like my brother, I rolled my first D&D character at the age of 7. So
You are my kind
Yeah.
of person, Des.
he was a dwarf named Puck. Just saying. But no, so yeah, 16 has an announcement trailer, which I was not anticipating a full-fledged like number installment, because I figured a lot of their forces would be behind 7 Remake.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Which, you know, a lot of like people that follow Square Enix potentially thought the exact same thing. Well, here's the funny part. This isn't coming from the same developers. The developers that usually do the mainline games are indeed working on 7 Remake.
Which is how it should be.
Yes. 16 is being developed potentially by better people. I'm just going to put that out there because, 16 is being developed by Business Division 4, I believe.
Yeah, I like Business Division 4.
Well, here's
3
the thing,
is
because Business Division, or might it be? Could be 3. Anyway,
3 is great. 4 is damn it.
I mean, Square Enix recently restructured their dev teams, which they call business divisions or creative divisions now, whatever. So they used to have like 12, now they have 4. So I forget now who's in charge of what usually. But anywho, the people behind Final Fantasy 16 actually they've been with the company. A lot of the higher ups have been with the company for a very long time. Because beforehand they used to be known as Team Ivalice, because these are the people that developed Final Fantasy Tactics. They did Final Fantasy 12. They did Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. And I believe 12 Revenant Wings, the Nintendo DS sequel to 12.
I think so.
Yeah. I think it was DS, but I want to say it was. Can't remember fully though. It was years ago. But yeah, so these people, Team Ivalice was restructured and got brought into. This is the team of people that saved Final Fantasy XIV with A Realm Reborn. These developers are the developer, like the main producer, who goes by Yoshi P, which I believe is Yoshitori Kitase.
Mm-hmm. Dude, Yoshi P is the man.
He is, because I mean, he literally took a failed MMO and rebooted it successfully.
And not a lot of time either.
It is.
Yeah.
No, it was what, maybe a year? Maybe?
Like a year and a half. Yeah. A year to a year and a half.
Mario through his adventures.
Blam.
I mean,
and the funny...
Setting up game development.
Yeah, the funny...
And being a main character. Yeah.
I mean, jeez.
But no, so yeah, it's hilarious because actually Yoshitori was a fan of the original head of Team Ivalice, who did Tactics Ogre, and then went on to do Final Fantasy Tactics. And that's why he joined Square Enix, was with the hope of working with him. But sadly, by the time he came in, the other dude left. Hilariously, he is now in charge of the old Team Ivalice. He has indeed worked with that old producer because Final Fantasy XIV did this Ivalice crossover, and they brought that guy back, so he has been able to work with his childhood idol or whatever. But now he is in charge of Final Fantasy XVI. And this is going to be glorious because years ago he was asked, if you could develop a mainline Final Fantasy game, what would you do? And his words were, as the announcement trailer shows, is I would take it back to its fantasy roots. No mecha.
Yeah.
No,
Very
nothing. It's
if you watch that trailer, that is exactly how I would describe it.
Yes.
Oh,
which when I saw the trailer, it was hilarious because it reminded me of, like, the character design reminds me of like Tactics in Final Fantasy 12 because it's that medieval fantasy feel.
Just the cover art, just the cover art alone.
Oh God. Now, finding that out, I was super hyped for Final Fantasy 16. A lot of people are still on the fence because it's, of course, a mainline Final Fantasy 16. I personally really enjoyed 15. Not a lot of people did, but hilariously, 15 is... Yeah, and hilariously, a lot of people must not be vocal about their enjoyment of 15 because Final Fantasy 15 is the third best-selling Final Fantasy of all time.
I believe it.
So,
I mean, the combat was solid. The story, I felt there were elements of the story that I felt like were lacking. It definitely wasn't as developed as it. Because one guy leaves, it feels like we're setting it up for a DLC, but you're not going to find out the story until later. And then it's like, and then there's like a 20-year gap where he's a butterfly, and then but that final battle, holy crap.
Like the end of the game like really punches you in the feels, but it's hilarious because I mean Final Fantasy 15 had development troubles. It was in charge of Tetsuya Nomura, who
Charles
is a
in-charge
notorious stickler for details
of our days.
Notorious. It's why
and our nights.
Kingdom Hearts has such long dev times, is because he wants to fit in like so much. He's a great artist, but not such a great director because he wants so much detail. And that's one thing that actually held Final Fantasy 15 back for so long, because Noctis's ability to warp, which in the game is usually now represented by very specific points that you can go to. Yeah, Tetsuya Nomura wanted him to be able to do that literally anywhere in the game.
Which would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been awesome, but would have been a nightmare to code.
There was a lot of travel time in 15, and that really burned me out.
I mean, it was a huge world. It could have felt a little fuller.
Yeah, there's a lot of just like unused space just to make it bigger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which was a downer, but oh my god, it was still gorgeous though.
Beautiful game,
but
and the combat was fun.
Yeah. Anyway, we're talking about.
So the part 2 that has me super, super, super hyped for Final Fantasy 16 is the fact of the person that's in charge of the combat, because again, they're going more towards a action style combat, which they do show off early stages of in the announcement trailer, which looks cool already. But the action director is the person that was behind Devil May Cry 5's action.
Okay.
After Devil May Cry 5, Square Enix actually hired him. Like, he left Capcom. Square Enix got him, and reportedly he is now working on the combat for Final Fantasy 16, which is glorious, because if you hear anything about Devil May Cry 5, is the fact that it is some of the best combat in the series, like, period. Or at least that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
And yeah, so to have that, because yes, Final Fantasy 15's combat was good, but I felt it wasn't really good enough to be an action game, which was a little stifling. But at the same time, it's an RPG, so I gave it a lot of leeway in that area. but now they actually have an action game guy to do the combat. Oh, it's gonna feel glorious.
I can't wait. That trailer, I was like, I watched it already, and then while you're talking about it, I watched it again, and then I caught myself watching it again afterwards.
Right? It is amazing.
It's so
like
good.
the summons are there. I mean, oh god, they look amazing. They
I
look
just
great.
so badly want to know the story, like, because the things that I've seen, a dragon and a phoenix and a king that they've got to protect, and then it seems to be jumping back and forth in time, and I just give it to me so I can know what's going on, because that
gotta know.
Really cool.
One thing they've definitely confirmed, the two people that look similar in the trailer, one of them looks younger and he's with a small child, and then the other guy looks very much older with a group of soldiers. That's the main character, and that is the same person between both of those instances. Hilariously, the child is apparently his little brother, and they are both children of the Duke. But for whatever reason,
of Buckingham?
I guess I forget the make-believe country.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah, so he looks after his little brother. Apparently, something happens. His little brother becomes the dominant of which is I guess their terminology for the summoner of Phoenix. And then you see strange demonic hellfire beast Ifrit in the trailer as well, which
it's pronounced Ifrit.
Whatever, it's Ifrit.
Okay, you can be wrong.
I come from an era of games before voice. I could be actually, but I mean, it's still Bahamut to me, even though the more I hear, it's more like Bahamut. But whatever.
It's actually Bahamut. And it's, considering it's proper Gesundheit. It's proper Scandinavian.
Bahamut is a Middle Eastern word, but okay.
Well, they got it from Scandinavia. They were very close trade partners back in the day.
So yeah, I'm just super stoked. Like, we don't even have that much information, and they did not long ago put out job ads for designers to finish stuff up. So no clue exactly how far along it is, but it does have potential to release this year.
That'd be so nice,
would be.
My God, that's. Yeah, it looks like from what I'm seeing before we jump forward real quick, and then you can say your thing real quick, Russ. So it said, I got to find it again here. It specifically said, yes, right here. There it is. There it is. Yeah, no release date has been revealed, but more information is scheduled to be revealed. So it's not going to be launched, but we're going to get the info dump this year, which is like
at the very least. Yeah, at the very least, we're getting. They have said that they're going to be giving us more and more information, which hilariously, just after they said it's like, oh yeah, we're going to start giving y'all a lot of information, that's when they started confirming a lot of details, like the fact that that's the main character, that's his little brother.
Wait, is there more details now or later?
Crystal. Yeah, I know, and so they give us a bunch of details about the trailer, with more details to. Oh,
so good.
So yeah, I am personally super stoked because of the people behind it.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a fresh take on Final Fantasy. Like I said, the director that ended up being the final director for 15 did a wonderful job cleaning up Tetsuya Nomura's mess. I am super sad that they canceled the last DLCs for 15.
Trust me.
But if
I know that game, Mass Effect Andromeda.
Well, that's the thing, because the story ideas that they had planned for DLC, because the last episode for 15 that came out was episode Arden, which, as many people will know, is the main antagonist. Actually, many people may not know. But anyway, but they had planned out 3 or 4 more DLC, and they had the story for it and everything. So what they ended up doing is they gave these story cues and the scripts to a writer who then novelized the stories. So the story that they worked on and that they were going to finish is out there.
That's actually really
trippy as balls.
That's awesome.
Like it is. Yeah, it takes a hard left from how core gameplay without DLC and anything. Like their future DLC was taking a hard right from how the game ends.
So was it a hard right or a hard left? I'm getting mixed signals.
Both.
Whoa. That sounds like a U-turn to me.
Either way.
Okay. What were you going to say, Russ?
Two wrongs.
Doom. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's jump over. What's your last game, man?
My last game? You guys. Come on.
After all of them have been stolen, what do you got?
So I had Hogwarts Legacy, which I bumped in favor of Werewolf.
Mm-hmm. rough.
Which then he took. So I was like, oh well, Final Fantasy 16 is on my list.
Snag.
So, I'm going to talk about a game that already came out this year, but that I'm looking forward to playing, even though I haven't been able to play it yet. But
that counts.
I am anticipating being able to play.
Yeah.
And that is Immortals: Phoenix Rising.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It flew under my radar. I remember seeing something about it, and I was like, I mean, it looks okay. But the things that I've heard about it, and I actually watched it being played. I watched the first part of it. It's very Breath of the Wild-esque. It's definitely got a lot of those elements. Set in a Greek mythology. But the design for the game, because at first I was watching it, I was like, it doesn't look that great.
Yeah.
But it has this style to it that once somebody's actually in there playing the game, it's really very pretty.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And the humor in it is hilarious. Just from the parts that I've watched, because so the premise of the game is Typhon has been released. He has turned all the mortals in the world to stone. Zeus shows up to Prometheus and is like, hey, Prometheus, you need to help me fight Typhon. And then they end up coming to some kind of bet where Prometheus is like, humankind, because Zeus is like, humankind, they've all been destroyed. And Prometheus is like, they can surprise you and they may be able to do more to help you than you think they can. And so Prometheus starts telling this story, and that's apparently the story that's actually happening at that time. But you get to make your own character at the beginning, which is not something I was expecting. They tie in all these different elements. The combat looks legitimately fun. You get to fly around with Icarus's wings.
And I like how over stylized the combat is.
It is. It's very over
really
stylized, but it looks pretty smooth. It's by Ubisoft, which
I did not I didn't expect that at all to be a Ubisoft title.
Either. Right? Because they've pretty much been doing Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. But they've done this, and now they're doing a Star Wars game.
Yeah, which is
The Division is Ubisoft.
Yeah, the Division.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Ghost Recon Wildlands. Ghost Recon.
Right.
Yeah.
And Rainbow Six Siege.
Yes, sure, Thomas Clancy. Yes.
Sorry, just started. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that game I'm really looking forward to playing. I've got to get through Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I've got to get through Godfall, and then that's my next game that I'm going to play. But it looks like a lot of fun. It just looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's very well reviewed as well.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. It's gotten crazy high reviews and pretty consistently. It was kind of a sleeper hit from what I've seen.
Yeah, because when I first saw a trailer for it, I was like, oh boy, I don't know about that. And then I saw some gameplay and I still was like, I don't know. And once it launched, I'm seeing reviews and you get in that 2 a.m. YouTube rabbit hole, and I was like, all right, I'll watch a trailer or a gameplay thing or review. And I was like, wow. One, that world is very gorgeous. the art style, the architecture. I'm going to use that term again. The color palette, like the animation style.
Yeah,
and like I said, it's very smooth.
It's
looking.
very cartoony.
Yeah,
but
I dig.
It looks good, and even the game mechanics look really smooth too.
Yeah, and these big boss fights.
Yeah. It looks surprisingly good. Like I just wasn't anticipating, even from some of the early stuff that I saw. But the more I've seen, the more I'm like, I really want to play this.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Hell yeah, man. Well, anything else for you, buddy?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's on my list too of things I want to play. I'm glad you brought that up so I could go to the I haven't gone to the website for it, and I got to see more than I had previously.
Nice.
Oh, it looks good.
What I'm here for.
All right. So my last game that I'm going to talk about. Dependent. Do I talk about something new or do I talk about technically a remake? It's a tough call.
It is.
It's a tough call.
Why not both?
We don't got time for that. This is upcoming. Okay, well, I'll do my new, because we'll definitely talk about this other one at some point. Foreshadowing. Yeah. So actually, my third game that I'm very excited for is actually the next Battlefield game for 2021. One, Battlefield games are awesome. Two, you okay?
Sorry, I knocked my microphone over into my lap.
You gave me a heart attack. But yeah, so they were taking it like, I enjoyed Battlefield 1, it was all right. I had fun. I rented it. I had a really good time, but I didn't want to buy it. World War 1's awesome. I really like World War 2, but Battlefield 5 just didn't do it for me for some reason. And so for them to kind of bring it back into I think they're going for like a air quotes World War 3 setting, so like slightly in the future, but still, all the modern weapons and everything you recognize. So I'm very pumped for Battlefield to be becoming modern again. It's a game series I want to get back into heavily because I love just getting a huge group of friends to sit down, because they're massive maps with a ton of players.
Yeah.
So you can just get a huge party of people, especially like I'm at a point now where I have more people to like game with than I ever have before. And so like to have that for Battlefield again feels awesome. But I haven't been able to because no one wants to play World War II. So
good for you. I have that.
Hey, build a PC. We're all here.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah. So not a lot of information yet. I'm waiting for that to be announced more. But just knowing that we're getting modern in Battlefield again makes me feel so good. Bad Company 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. Battlefield 3 was awesome. Battlefield 4 I didn't get into as much, but was also a beautifully done game. Like I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. So yeah.
Are you pumped?
I think on a scale of puh to t, I'm ump. If that makes sense.
Oddly, and this could be because I've known you too long. It does.
I think it's because you know me too long. I'm saying all that while waving a toy axe around, so it's definitely because you've known me too long. And everyone listening is going to write in and go, what the hell does that even mean? All right, yeah. So there's the games. 3 games. We had a huge list, but we all like to talk. And, this went on for a long time, which we knew it would. But if we all had picked 5 games, it'd be another 3 hours,
Right.
Okay.
I think 3 was a good number.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 is a good number.
Should we move forward?
Let's move forward.
All right. Okay, so I don't know how loud, if it's super quiet, let me know. But there were some bumpers from the past that I re-recorded tonight with my children.
Oh
boy.
So,
yes.
So, yeah, is this ringing a bell now?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yes. So if there's quiet, let me know and I'll fix it. But here we go.
It was a little quiet.
A little quiet? Okay.
A bit quiet.
All right. Let me try turning this up. Here, let's try that.
Let's do our emails.
Better?
I think it ended up being about the same volume.
Okay. I'll go into the actual file.
It may have
and
been
upgrade
a little bit loud.
It was adorable. My daughter was
good.
talking, saying, let's do our emails. There we go. Okay.
We could hear it. It was just
Okay.
quiet.
Okay.
Yeah.
It took me 9 takes to get her to say it any louder than she did. And I was like, you know what? I'll figure it out. Just go. I was like, you just gotta say it louder now. And she went, let's do. I was like, no, go ahead and do it louder. And then she scooted back from the microphone and said it the same. And I was like, no, Anyway, so we do have an email, Russ.
We do?
We do. Lazarus the Lich has sent us an email question.
You know what? I should have known.
You should have. Laz! If there's one man we knew was going to come with us on this journey again, it was Laz, and he has not let us down. All right, so Laz writes in.
I'm sorry, I can't hear anything you're saying anymore.
Really?
I think Des busted out my eardrums.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. Because
Potential.
Des screamed Laz. And
Yes.
I'm with you now.
I get very hyped for Laz.
The meds are kicking my butt right now. Yeah, so Laz writes, hi, I have a very simple question. How do you maintain your level of sexiness? Is it a diet plan, workout regime, juice cleanse, or is it al natural? Let's start with you, Russ.
I mean, I thought the question was for you. I knew it wasn't for me.
No, it's for everybody. Russell, you are insanely sexy.
Well, Laz, let me answer that for you.
Good, because I asked you to answer that, so that worked out.
My answer is that my wife does it by regular butthole waxings.
Yeah, truth. When's the last time that happened, actually?
It's been a while.
Okay, all right. I was curious. I was curious.
It's getting a little jungle-rific back there.
Okay, good.
I do shave regularly, though.
I respect it. Okay, so that's it.
That's
just wax hole budding?
No,
or butthole waxing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's how I stay sexy.
Okay,
that's how I maintain it.
Yeah.
For me, Brett? How do you maintain?
How do I maintain my sexiness? I wake up every morning, right?
I hope so.
And that's my answer. I roll out of bed, usually late for work. I throw everything on and get everything done in 3 minutes, where it should take 12. I live 10 minutes from work and I get there in 4. And bad personal hygiene, a horrible diet, and a lot of self-loathing. And wouldn't you know, you throw that out all at a coal and it becomes a diamond. So that's all I'm saying. So with enough negativity, you two can be as sexy as me. I think is what we're throwing out there. Yeah. Ding. What about you, Des?
That process to sexiness.
Yeah. Look at your body. Hate it. Look at your soul. Hate it. I think I killed him. Senor DesRaving, when you come back to us, take your time.
Oh,
breathe,
God.
Breathe.
I knew it was going to happen. It happened last time I was on.
I turned him down.
Almost kills me like every time.
Yeah.
It's a gift.
Oh, God. Oh.
How about now?
Okay, I'm fine.
Okay, good. All right, go for it.
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Okay.
I can't follow up that answer, so I'm just gonna say I am the way I am, and
okay, I respect it.
Yeah, I mean that's I can't hope. I can't. That answer was glorious. Yep.
Thanks. All right, good. All right, our next segment, which I'm very excited for this soundbite. Hopefully it works out okay. This one also took 14 takes. Did it work?
I didn't hear anything.
Nothing happened. All right, hold on.
I didn't hear anything.
Story time.
I heard it.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Story time.
There you go. That's a 3-year-old boy.
Time.
Story time. Story time, folks, is a segment we've not done in a very long time. Partially because we have not recorded in a very long time. Yes. Story time is a way for us to get together and tell one gaming story of something from our past, maybe recently or very long ago. We here at Just Some Guardians podcast get very nostalgic, and it's a way for us to express that by puking the words out of our mouth. Who would like to tell a story first? Jolly good. I shall go first.
Yeah, you
There you
go
go.
first.
So you may think this will be a very recent story, actually. So we tested. Some bode in my Discord came up with a cannonball run for Red Dead Online.
Yep.
And we sat down with a group of us to test this the other night, and it was a shit ton of fun. We figured out some stuff we got to work on, but it was amazing. So we started at the northeast of the map in Ansburg, all on foot. And the whole thing was you couldn't use personal wagons or horses. You had to steal them, right? We had to stop and take a drink in every single saloon on the map till we ended up at Fort Mercer. So from the very top northeast to the very southwest of the map. And I made a joke at the beginning. I'm like, could you imagine if no horses or wagons spawned and we had to run to the first bar? And guess what happened? No horses or wagons anywhere. So there's just a row of like 8 of us on foot, just chugging snapping cocaine gum and chugging down elixirs while we're sprinting down the middle of the road. Till we got to the first bar, and there was like one horse there, and one person was wanted, so they couldn't take a drink. I bumped into Baker, and he like slid off the bar, and so I took a drink and jumped out, got in that horse, and I took off. Randall, that horse died. Shot a guy, jumped on his horse. Randall, that horse died. Stole another horse. Randall, that horse died. Got to San Denis, stole a wagon. And basically, I was, spoiler alert, I won the race. But it was so funny with all of us. We just give updates where everyone was. Oh, I'm 1 bar behind you. I can do this. Oh, your wagon crashed. Let's go. And just the mayhem of people running into each other. And then there were sections of the map where there's a huge space between saloons. And so if one person happened to steal a slightly faster wagon, that was their ability to catch up. And it was like, no, come on, I had such a lead, you know. But so my wife, actually, who's been able to join us in Red Dead, which has been awesome. So she had a really nice wagon that she was very happy with. And my sister has actually recently gotten to Red Dead also.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so she was ahead of my wife and crashed her wagon. She's like, dang it. So she's running around town. And my wife pulls into town to run into the bar. And so my sister steals her wagon and goes, sucker, and takes off running. And so Lisa's on foot through like all of the desert running around trying to find a wagon. And finally gets one and gets there and wins, or not wins, but gets there and finishes. But like, you know, we all stood there. We took pictures. We'd stand over the bell in front of the gate to get in and shoot the bell as people came across the line. And everyone was laughing, having a great time. So I'm very pumped to try this in the future. If it's something you're interested in, Red Dead Online's $5 on PC or anywhere. But on PC, we need more people to join for these races. Hit me up. But yeah, it was just a ton of fun. It was something different in the game that wasn't like, you know, go bounty hunting or go deliver a trade wagon or what you're supposed to do, right? Like we made our own fun, and it was just such a blast. And that's my story.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So it's a story in gaming, right?
Yeah.
Does it have to be video or PC games? Can it be tabletop or board games?
Absolutely, it can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell a D&D story then.
Oh, fuck.
It's not going to be long.
Okay. Never mind. Go for it.
So it's the first campaign I'd ever played in. I'm playing a rogue. We go to investigate. We ended up doing like this little side quest thing. We had taken like a bounty to go and investigate where these monsters where these horses kept disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get up, we investigate the area. I'm kind of circling around. I feel something watching me, and I've kind of circled that around. And there were 2 other people playing with me at the time. They each get captured in quick succession and like scooped under the earth, right?
Oh.
So I'm thinking purple worm, and I'm like, F this. But like I see the ground that's been disturbed where they've disappeared. So I go and I walk over there because like I saw one get snatched real quick, and I kind of hunch down so that it doesn't grab me with its claws. So this thing grabs me, pulls me underground into this big like cavern with like bones that are coating the floor, just like a carpet of bones.
And that's a
And
soothing aesthetic.
so immediately there's like this flash of light, but I'm able to shrug it off, and I see a frickin' Umber Hulk in front of me. Which Umber Hulks are real nasty, and we're like level 3, level 2.
Oh god.
Like, we are not leveled appropriately for this thing. We are going to die.
Mm-hmm.
2 of my companions are already mesmerized by the Umber Hulk because they have this ability that like makes you it stuns you. And so through the series of events is like I'm trying through this series of events is we're trying to overcome this thing. Like one guy gets grabbed up by it and he's about to get eaten, and so I'm like, I have this filter of love, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a shot. I don't know, because we can't fight this thing. Like nothing's hitting it, like very little damage is getting done. So I'm like, Hail Mary. And so my DM is like, all right, you're gonna roll a D100. Let's see if roll a D20 and let's see if you're able to throw it in the guy's direction. Whiff, just whiff. And I'm like, and he goes, roll a D100 because the Umber Hulk's behind him and like holding him like this with its mouth open.
Oh no.
99 on the percentile.
Oh.
The filter of love goes into its mouth, and it drinks the filter of love, and now this Umber Hulk is in love with me. So I convince it that, hey, let us go, and through some persuasion checks, it digs us a hole out of this cavern, because then it's like, how do we even get out of here? But then as I'm like trying to leave, it keeps grabbing onto me. Because it's in love with me.
It wants, don't leave me. I mean, I love you. Don't go.
But I pull some. So we tie a rope. We throw it over a tree. We tie it to me, and they gallop off on their horses, so that I right up into a tree. So we finally escape, and at the very end of the game, this Umber Hulk shows back up in the final showdown to fight on my side.
Yes!
It was amazing. But just that series of events, it was just quintessential D&D. It was my first campaign where it's like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to try this filter of love, and boom, I've got a Umber Hulk that's in love with me. We're able to not have to fight this thing, and we're able to get away, and it was just crazy. That's my gaming story.
That's amazing. Dude, when stuff comes back, like, oh, that's so awesome.
It's the best.
Des, my man. What do you got? Give me a story. Oh yeah.
I think I'll take another page from Russell's book, deliberately this time, because I talk about like video gaming like very often. I haven't really conveyed a lot of my D&D stories.
Bring it
the ones I've had.
On, my friend.
So I guess this one I'll bring up is the effect of sometimes not even the GMs are in full control of what's going to happen in a campaign.
They're actually never in control, fun fact.
Hardly ever.
At least as far as setup goes.
Yeah, if the players are right.
As far as setup goes. Because my brother had a plan. I mean, it was a very simple campaign that he was working through. I was legitimately the only player, so it was, small setting. Small setting. So I had this like half-elf and ranger. Tracking down something or another. I can't even remember the full details, but I remember I gained a companion to help me take on this group of thieves or whatever. Turns out this person my character released from prison was an adult gold dragon in disguise that I had to fight with me. So it's like, all right, this is cool. But I found that out after the group of thieves had a green dragon on their side. So all of a sudden, my brother like crafted this entire almost like Lord of the Rings scenario where I'm fighting this group of thieves. There's a couple dragons like duking it out in the background. Which, you know, when an adult gold dragon faces a juvenile green dragon, you would think the bigger dragon would win.
You'd
right?
think so, yeah.
Yeah, you'd think so. But the
Unless
ultimate
the dice
control
in your favor.
exactly. Ultimate control of any campaign belongs to no GM, belongs to no player. It belongs to the dice. This green dragon was getting all good rolls, and the gold dragon was just whiffing everything. So it comes down to my character versus a practically full health dragon.
Oh no.
All right, so things went in your favor. Good.
It's like, oh, balls. But hilariously, I mean, it you know, glorious epic fight. I ended up, somehow my character survived. Barely. But yeah, massive battle scars. You know, Dragon Slayer fame. It's, like I said, being young, and I believe that was my second character. Yeah, I learned very quickly. Yeah, the dice holds ultimate control over any campaign.
Everything.
So yeah, it's glorious.
I love it.
I am a dice flubber as a GM for that very specific reason.
Yeah,
Because
it's
sometimes, for the most part, it's good, but sometimes it's just like, you know what? I really don't want to kill these characters.
Yeah.
right.
No, the
Oh,
worst
no, my
is
brother
when...
was merciless with that.
Oh, that's so awesome.
My
yeah,
brother
when...
was absolutely merciless. In a previous campaign, he had a group of players. They had to. There's like this northern tribe, and they had to fight its totem animal. Of course, what he didn't tell them beforehand was the totem animal was a Remoraz. Which in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons had an ability where if it rolled a natural 20 on its attack, it would swallow you whole.
Yeah.
So first fighter was a dwarven berserker, because berserker, they'll fight first.
Yeah,
I'll take care of it, no problem. Rimmerad's got initiative, first roll, natural 20. My brother just sighed and goes, "Here's your new character sheet."
Have a nice life.
Exactly. It's awful. Yeah. So.
Love it. Great stories all around, my friends. I feel closer to you in spirit and in the gaming universe. Well, I think that brings us to the end of the old Just Some Guardians docket. What say ye?
Oh no.
Already?
Already, my friends, yes. I have no more bits. I have no more things. That is
No
it.
bubbles?
No, none of those things that you said that I can absolutely pronounce correctly, but don't ask me to. Right? Yes. Perfect. Hey. DesRaving.
Yes.
Yes.
Brother, thank you for being our first guest on our return to podcasting.
No, it is most definitely my honor to be back here. It is glorious.
Aww.
Glorious.
Inglorious.
Yes, bastards. What? Hey, Russell.
Copyright. Yes.
Thank you for returning to me as well for this episode.
And thank you. You beautiful, beautiful bearded man.
Thanks. Thanks. Hey, DesRaving.
Yes, sir.
Where the hell can people find you, everything you do? If you want to plug that podcast, go for it. If not, I totally understand.
Fair enough. You can, of course, find me myself on Twitter at DES_Raven. Not super active, but I do respond to notifications. You can, of course, find me in the Guardian Hub. I almost said the wrong one.
Yes.
Ooh, that would have been a flub. But yes,
Very
the
embarrassing.
Guardian Hub Discord. And you can track our Discord down as well as our podcast at theguardianhub.com. Best hub on the net.
I don't know.
For some people it's debatable, but you know.
mean, listen. I have definitely masturbated to your podcast. But it felt...
I'd be disappointed if you didn't.
It didn't feel as good as the other hub. But don't get me wrong, it was great. I definitely was completed.
Fair.
Yeah. I think that might be... I'm going to go write a review for your podcast. It definitely brought me to completion.
Oh, that'll be a test to see if it...
Yeah, we'll see if anyone reads that.
I might have to explain that.
No, just leave it as is. I like it.
Yeah, better not.
Fair.
Hey, Russell.
Yes.
Where the hell can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at something.
Oh, come on. Come on.
It's never going to change. I don't
Listen,
know why
some bits aren't funny when they come back, Russ, and that's... I'm just kidding.
Okay, hold on. I got this.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find him at drjex0725 on Twitter.
Yeah, that one. You can also find me on Elmer Fudd's Discord, or you can find me on the JSG Discord. I usually lurk on JSG. I'm usually in the Dungeons and Dragons. Elmer Fudd, I'm kind of all around. I go into the NSW quite often.
And don't forget, the OnlyFans is the best channel.
Yeah, OnlyFans. It just gets me going every time.
You don't even know.
To completion.
Yeah.
But there's great stuff in both of them. Brett has built just a great community of people that like DesRaving, Sumbode, and one of my personal favorites, Gunbait, and hashtag JFingers Buttholes.
Hey, beautiful.
But yeah, you can find me in there, Jackal7250.
Perfect. You're so good.
It's right there on the screen.
That's that one.
Yeah.
That's good. You know, it always has been, and you messed that up a lot.
Don't judge me.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for episode 88 of Just Some Guardians. When we do the show, that is live, twitch.tv/JustSomeGuardians, Friday nights at 11:30 Eastern Time. Check us out. Come hang out for the live show. It's a great time. The pre-show is amazing. The after show isn't a lot, but the pre-show, be there. Trust me. We'll read your questions from chat. It's a great time. We love to see it.
Where all the foreplay takes place.
Yeah, a lot of the foreplay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can find us on Twitter at JSGcast. Linked to the Twitter is a way to get into the Discord that our dear Russell was talking about. Come on in there, hang out. Look for a group, talk about your art. All the stuff you got going on, we want to know about. Any questions you got, we want to know about. Any selfies of your relatives that live far away, we want. Right? That's the thing you said you wanted. I believe when we first when we were coming back, I was like, Russ, I want a podcast again. And you were like, only if people send me selfies of their distant relatives.
Or Dick Cheney.
Also, yes. If you're a distant relative of Dick Cheney, let us know. You can email us at justsomeguardians@gmail.com. Go check out our website, justsomeguardians.com, where you can get to the YouTube, our podcast feed, the Twitch feed. Everything is there. Check it out. Go there. Love it, crave it, cherish it. There's one other thing I want to say. Yes, once again, our lovely new sponsor, moving forward, He Shirt, She Shirt. Go over there, HeShirtSheShirt.com. It's so fun to say. Promo code
Try saying it
JSGcast.
5 times fast.
He-shirt.com, he-shirt.com, he-shirt.com.
I should really learn not to challenge you to those kinds of things.
I know. Yeah, promo code JSGcast to get 10% off your order. Their shirts are very comfortable. If you've got something you want custom made, they can do. I'm a mess, guys. My ankle is killing me right now, and the meds are wearing off. I'm a mess. Yeah, hit them up. They make great shirts. We will have shirts for the podcast on there shortly. Look for that. We'll actually have our own merch you can get. It's going to be great. As for myself, I'm Elmer Fudd. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all those places at Elmer Fudd Games.
WMDD.
I'm not going to lie to you. I practiced that the other day because it'd been so long. Like, I didn't feel like it was great when our first episode back. And I actually was sitting there in the car the other day. No, you've got this. And it was an experience.
And then everybody on your route is just like, what is
wrong with this guy? Yeah, absolutely. It was rough. Yeah, there we go. That was a show. When we have music again, it'll be here. But thanks to all the Twitch changes, I can't just, use music like I used to. So
Yeah.
it's going to be, but now we'll have our very own theme song.
I didn't do my outro.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was getting to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This was still part of the wrapping up,
Sorry.
talking about, this is our second show back. There's still a lot to talk. Like, we got a lot of stuff coming up. I was just throwing it out there.
We do.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Russell. Take us out.
Join us next time on Just Some Guardians for mutual chaos and utter incompetency.
Oh, yeah. Good. We've had that since episode 2.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was Alex. Alex said that. and we were like, that is-
Luthien, right? Yeah, Luthien.